Usually the bosses are around too, so they
A lot of pressure on your show today, then. Huh?
well, not really. It doesn't change down here. It just changes that they got those meetings and everything here before football starts up. Speaking of football starting up, before we get to the Marlins and their comeback, crazy baseball game against the Phillies last night. If you missed it, you missed a wild finish to finish it up. And Griffin Conine with the single to get it done. Crazy for a lot of different reasons, but also the Miami Dolphins report today and will be on the field tomorrow. And we do have a couple lists out that we have to get to today. Do we have lists? We got to know, do we have it or don't? Or we got to find out. So we'll have that. We'll have some lists coming up that we'll jump on. We've got some numbers out for the Heat, and we've got some numbers out for the Canes on wins. I thought it was very interesting since we're getting ready to start both right around the corner, actually. We'll even be talking about basketball starting back up here in a couple of months. But, of course, the Canes getting ready to go with obviously one of the highest win totals in college football. So we got a lot of stuff, Dave, as we jump on it. But let's go right back to the Marlins, man. We made a big deal about losing 12 straight. They end it. You can never you never know. Zach Wheeler has been one of the best pitchers in baseball. 3 innings, goes up 5 runs. They're up 5-2 early on.
Game's over, right?
Knock him out of the game. The guy, 3 innings.
Griffin Conine hit a home run.
Griffin Conine, who, by the way, we've been talking about how good he has been. I mean, he goes, I don't know where you want me to play, or if I'm not playing, I'm DHing, but I'm in that damn lineup because he's got some dad in him.
But they knocked around that was, going into, they're playing the Philadelphia's best pitcher, and all of a sudden, bam, they're up 5-2, and I'm thinking it's over.
Yeah,
they're on their way.
Well, I didn't think that because it was too early in the game, to be fair, because of what has been going on. And sure enough, after going up 5-2, they're down 7-5. They go down 7-5, and you're going, oh boy. Now, so let's go to that last inning where they scored their 3 runs.
Let's set it up, Joe. Philadelphia is 49-0 when leading after 8 innings over this recent. I mean, going back into last year, but Duran is untouchable.
Joan Duran is nasty. 24 saves, 35 innings, 53 strikeouts going into last night's game. So you're going 2 runs. This guy's got to play with. Oh boy, we're going to have to get him tomorrow. They go out and get 5 singles. Stowers gets hit, and they just beat him with singles. Bases loaded, and Conine drives one in with the infield in, and it was that's ball game. You just never know, you just can't say, hey, it's over. They got their pitcher, they got a great closer, get late in the game. That's the Phillies way. And this guy, as you said, has been really, really good. Last night they're even saying he's been the best closer in baseball, and he gets lit up by this Marlins team in the bottom of the 9th.
Look, I'm not saying it was a Game 7 celebration, but maybe a Game 2. It was a big celebration of relief by those Marlins,
and that 12. Nobody wants to be part of bad franchise record numbers. You just don't. Losing 12, and then now you're starting to hear it. I mean, whatever we're talking about, they're hearing too. Not because of us, but everybody's going, hey, you've lost 12 straight. That's a franchise record.
But not even hearing it, just living it. We lost 12 straight. How we're up 5-2, and now we lost again. We're losing every which way possible. So to come back.
I give them credit because there could have been demons in their head last night, late in that game, knowing they know it's at the end, that they got to hit them. And they've been losing all these games. And they went out last night, and
who led off the 9th inning? Sort of the poster child of what's going on here is Marcy hits a single to lead off.
Yeah, Marcy actually had a couple of hits last night.
Game.
He just dug such a hole, but he's actually getting close to the 200 mark here. But he had a great one. And hey, Otto Lopez, this is one thing I know. It looks like he's been shaking his hand. Last night had 3 hits. Had another 3-hit game for him, and he's been on his standard a little bit quiet. We've gotten a little spoiled. He had that batting average up to the high 340s. But
well, the whole offense has it. In that 12-game losing streak, 9 games, 2 runs or less.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, they just stopped hitting. So last night they come alive on offense.
But that's kind of sports, right? I mean, just when you think there's no way, everything, all the numbers say it's stacked up and we're going to lose again, we're going to have to start looking for Tuesday's matchup, and they go out and they jump all over. Well, again, Wheeler's just been really good, and then on top of that, they got a guy when they get in the ninth that's been lights out, and that wasn't the case last night. So they get to both guys, and here we are. So anyway, we got that. We've got opening day. I say opening day. Why do I do that? I just went baseball. I have first day reporting date for the Miami Dolphins. Go in, get their physicals, get moved in, and then we'll be on the field tomorrow for the first day out at Hard Rock Stadium. And we got a lot of stuff to get to. So I took some time last night, Dave. I did a do we have list, or we have to find out if we have it or we don't have it. I did a list of guys that have it that I'm not worried about. And I did a list of we got to find out if you have it. And you haven't shown me enough. And by the way, just before we start these two lists, I didn't put any of the 21 draft picks on the list. I did not see enough last year, just me. I think some of those guys can be really good players. And they're the upside of this thing, the 21 draft picks last year and this year. But I did not put any of them. Obviously, I haven't seen this rookie class play at all, so you can't put any of them on there. I have a feeling some of them may end up being good, and I think there's 3 or 4 guys going to be a big part from last year of this team. But I haven't seen it yet. So I don't know if you're with me on that. As far as that, we have it, and I'm not worried about it. I want to share that list with you here this morning. First thing. And again, I thought this was a nice way to kind of open camp for everybody going in. Aaron Brewer. I even put him in order. Aaron Brewer, number 1. Because what he did, he was as good as anybody else at what they did. Jordan Brooks, second, led the league in tackles. Devon Achane was third for me, who's, one of the 5 or 6 best running backs in football. Zach Sealer was next. Patrick Paul, I put Patrick Paul right behind Zach Sealer. Austin Jackson, I put when healthy, but I know he can play, and he can play at a good enough level. Tyrell Dotson, I put on there. And my last one that you might not have seen enough is Greg Dulcich. I put on the list.
Yeah, I put him on the so my list, because my list would go HN number 1. 5.7 yards, led the league in rushing, 4.1 yards after contact.
Led the league in yards per carry. Yes, he did. He was good.
Yards per carry.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking impact on the team, on the offense, I have to go with him number 1 as a playmaker. And then Jordan Brooks, number 2.
Led the league in tackles, man. And that's what the game's about, blocking and tackling. I probably could have put him 1. Yes.
So then Brewer third for
had a great year.
Similar. Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
I mean, and it's interesting. Centers are now getting a lot more money. The Raiders went out and bought a center for Fernando Mendoza.
I think it's important. You got new quarterbacks, or you got guys who haven't done it a lot, and I think they looked and said Malik Willis got to have a guy he can trust as center. Yes.
So, and then I go Zach Sealer, and he kind of had with all the young players around
had a
him
babysitting first half.
Right, exactly. Yes. That's what I was going to say. He was sort of the caretaker for a lot of people.
He was great with those guys. By the way, you couldn't ask a veteran, and I think to the point it hurt him, because when you're not having success, young guys, you start freelancing, and he's over there going, because they gave up some big yards early in the season. Their teams were running for damn near 200 yards against them.
And people were saying, where's Zach Sealer? But
he took a lot of the heat for it, and he's going, I'm playing with my puppies. They got to grow up a little bit. And he coached them up every day. He never got down on them. That guy, Zach Sealer, is, well, I'll tell you what, if you could handpick, like Dave, you're going in the league and you can handpick, and I was fortunate enough to have Nat and Jimmy with me, and Bruce Hardy, and they were lifesavers coming in. You could ask questions to, and they'd come over to you, or, hey, man, you're having a rough day, don't worry about it. Everybody's been here. Hey, a veteran got on you because we had some old school guys would just rip you. I don't want to say names, and these guys were great. And he's that guy. He's that guy for those guys last year. They came up, and to their credit, hey, Zach, what do I do in this situation, in this situation? You know, they're looking at Zach Sealer. He's smaller than all those guys. Those guys are all bigger guys, and yet they're going, how do you have 70 tackles a year? How do you have 90 tackles? How do you get double digits, sacks? What are you doing? I want to learn everything from you. So, and they've got good guys. And by the way, a lot of guys on this list have that. So anyway, those are some of the guys on the list. Patrick Paul, you had on that
He's
list,
my next
obviously.
one. Patrick Paul.
Austin, did you put Austin Jackson on
I did
there?
not, because
The injuries.
the injury. I mean, you can't define the list. As I understood it, it's guys you can count on and have proven themselves to say,
I've given him
okay,
a fresh start that, and it's a contract year. And I did. I stuck my neck out for Patrick Paul on this list.
Yeah,
excuse me.
I think he's shown
Excuse me
enough
for
that-
Austin Jackson on this list. Sorry
okay.
about that. I
Patrick-
threw you a curveball.
Austin Jackson, I can't count that he's going to be there after the last 2 years.
All right.
He's been hurt.
I got you.
But if he plays 17 games, 15, 16 games, you're going to have a good
Did you
right
put
tackle,
Tyrell Dotson on
average
that
right
list?
tackle. He's my next one. Tyrell Dotson's next.
Listen, man, I don't want to forget. First of all, communication. He's a dot guy. Whatever color dot you want to call it, he's a dot guy that calls out things. And not everybody wants that, by the way. Not everybody wants to be in charge of everybody and barking out signals and making changes. And that's big importance for that defense. So and he had a zillion tackles.
But I will say, I don't understand how he's going to be starting this year. You don't draft Jacob Rodriguez 43rd.
I agree.
And say, no, you're going to sit the bench. No. So I'm curious to see what happens.
You put
with Tyrell
Dulcich on there?
I did not. I did not.
That's right.
He's in the second tier. You know, you had the second tier.
I did. I have that. I have to see more list.
I need to see more.
All right. So, hey, I want to get to that list coming up here because we got some other news, as you heard in the update as well. The Dolphins have signed Cleveland Farrell, who was first-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. I think Mike Mayock actually drafted him with the Raiders going back, and fourth overall pick for the Raiders. And just he was, by the way, he's okay last year. He played for San Francisco, but he's bounced around now. He's been on some teams, and for a fourth overall pick, now 29 years old, he really hasn't worked out. I mean, you're fourth pick in a draft as a pass rusher, and we've had some guys ourselves, so we know about it. We've taken a few up high that haven't worked out, but he's doing enough to stay around. He had 4 sacks with the 49ers last year. This is fifth team. We're his fifth team, and he's been with San Francisco twice, just to give you an idea that he's been on some different teams. But they're desperate, man. We talk, and I think if you just sit back and watch moves people make, and you're going, hey, I'm really worried. I think you've been, right? Pass rushers and number one. Well, they are too.
Yeah.
Like by signing a guy right before they go to camp, they're
hoping they have someone. You know, they take 8 maybes and you know, they have a couple lower round draft picks. They have a lot of guys who have had a year or showed maybe it could be something, because right now they have nobody you can count on.
He's the most productive. The guy they just signed is the most productive guy sack wise.
That's scary.
They would have had, except, you know, Chop was on the team last year, but the guys they got from the outside. So we'll see what happens with that. And of course, Joshua Uche was going to be a part of this thing as well in the competition. But when we come back, we with the group that I'm kind of looking, and I got to see more for the next step, and that brings in a whole new group. Now, listen, this next group, including that 21 draft picks over the last 2 years, that's really the key. I'm not worried about any of those guys except Austin Jackson, to be fair to my list I just put together, staying healthy. We're going to find out today. I am dying to see, not today, but tomorrow when they go on the field, are they going to work him in slowly? Because I'm afraid, because he just did a little bit of work 6 weeks ago. I don't know if they're going to give him the green light right away. And look, I'm like everybody else. Storm Duck and Baker both out, and that's not good.
I'm not worried.
You're not worried about that?
No, give me a month from now.
Our PUP guys, we don't have a great PUP going into camp.
But camp is so long in today's world.
I know it is,
and
but
they're working out all off season now, and so a month from now, if they're not on the field, then you start to get worried because you're starting to get close to the opening kickoff.
I hate looking over to see who's on stationary bikes when camp starts.
Here's
And by the way, if you were playing for Shula, you didn't want to be on that stationary bike.
here's
'cause
my
he would
scary thing
remind you.
about this list, Joe.
Yeah.
I only have 7 people
On that list
on
we
it.
just did.
Seven on a whole roster. 7 people, and one of them's Riley Patterson.
Nobody else
the
is
kicker.
doing that.
One of them's the kicker.
Oh.
Okay. And so that is a very thin roster of players you can. And how many are at impact of the premier positions? The edge rushers, cornerbacks. I put receiver in that in today's world. Quarterback, 7 players.
I got a group. Kicker. I got a group that I feel most of them have a good chance to jump on this list real soon. So that's kind of the second tier, and we'll talk about that a little bit. We also have some NBA numbers. They're starting to come out on wins and losses, and it's interesting where they have the Miami Heat.
It's a little scary, a little sobering for all the euphoria there
Not
was.
too far from where we were last year.
Wow.
I know. Anyway, we'll talk about that. And the Canes. I tell you what, the gamblers like, and Vegas likes the Canes, their schedule. But one team surprised me a little bit, and we'll talk about that as well. So we got a lot of stuff to get to here this morning as we get moving on here and get your take as well on things. And before we do, though, we'll jump into your South Florida Chevy dealers this morning. Got some great deals going on those trucks, man. I was calling to some of the South Florida Chevy guys that I know, and I said, hey, man, they're on this truck thing. And why not? You got great trucks. You should be. Whether it is the Chevy Colorado and the Colorado custom to the ZR2, they're great trucks. They really are. But the Chevy Silverados, they're our big boys. They're a cleanup hitter. We got a truck perfect. If you're a truck person, I promise you, we got a Chevy Silverado truck made for you. From custom Trail Boss to the Silverado EV with 10 models, 4 powerful engine choices. Silverado delivers an impressive balance of strength, dependability, and efficiency. Let's get to some of them. Hey, a lot of you guys that are up early in the morning listening right now are in a truck out working on a job, and you need your truck. That's how you make a living. And sometimes that's a living you got to make 7 days a week. That's right. You keep working till the job is done. We got a Chevy Silverado HD. We got the powerful LTZ with the premium style and substance to match. You can go to the Chevy Silverado HD High Country, our big boy. We got a truck that can work just like you do. Got the same durability and strength you have every day. So for the best in Florida life, Chevy's got a Florida truck for you. It's like they've custom made a truck perfect for your truck lifestyle. Visit your local South Florida Chevy dealers today. Together, man, let's drive. Good morning, everybody, and welcome for you football fans. It's starting up, man. Tomorrow
we made it. We made it, Joe.
We made it, Dave. I can't believe it. It went by fast. If you really sit back and maybe the World Cup helped me a little bit get through it. You know, those games every day, and ended up watching a record amount of a World Cup for me, for sure.
Well, the Heat and the Panthers didn't help us this year, as the previous 2 years, 3 years, the Panthers did. But when that Super Bowl game ends, I start counting the calendar. How many months till the start of foot? It's like 6 months.
Yeah.
What am I, or
no,
months.
it's crazy.
What am I going to do?
And you got all kinds of stories going on here. We got this crazy stuff out in San Francisco. You know, there's always one team that's got drama or stuff going on. It belongs to the San Francisco 49ers, a team I grew up with and used to go and watch and everything else. But their coach, Shanahan, apparently got hurt 11 days ago. I thought it was just something that just happened. You're in the business. They hid this. And a lot of people knew and took the high road because they want to get stories down the road. I see Mike Flora really all over ESPN saying this is.
I have a tough time, having been in the business for all my life, thinking that a local newspaper out there would sit on the story because the team asked them to. No, because here's how it works.
So is that?
Here's how it
I'm
works.
curious
Let me
about
tell
this.
you how.
Yeah.
There's a news reporter, not a sports reporter, who goes through the daily log of accident record. Police reports.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I'm assuming Kyle Shanahan's name was on there. Now, if he didn't, the police have something to answer for. There's something bizarre happened out there. I don't know what yet, but it'll come to.
Kept an accident to your head coach of one of the better head coaches in the NFL and really good football team, and you're telling me that they kept that quiet for 11 days before somebody went, hey.
I just listened to Sims.
Chris
Sims
is
podcast.
Good friends with him.
Now
yes.
He's best friends with him, he says, and he said, well, it happened right near the complex, and you know, when you're Kyle and you made good friends with the police, and suggesting, you know, he didn't say anything, and I'm just reading between the lines here. That
why do you have to keep that
compliance?
Why do you have to keep that private though? Like,
he said, well, there's another passenger, and at some point he said she. Now, who is she? Who is the other passenger in this, in this story? Okay, and I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just laying out what I know. Okay.
Yeah. You're not going to New England.
I'm not going to New England.
All
not
right.
at all. Not at all. But the problem is when you don't come forward with the truth,
people
fill in the blanks. Okay. And when the 49ers as a team released that he was in an accident like at midnight on Friday or something like that, at 12:01, Adam Schefter says that at 12:02 there's an ESPN story, a full story about it. So there was some compliance. They were complicit. Somebody in the media is complicit. Another reporter in the Bay Area, a respected guy, Tim Kawakami, he's a longtime columnist in San Jose. I think he's worked for The Athletic now. He came out a few minutes before all this and said something's going to be announced here.
So all those guys,
what's going on? Did they all know? ESPN obviously knew ahead of time, because you just don't all of a sudden have a full story up and running.
Sounds like a lot of people. They're not too much. That's a big area, man. There's just no way to keep that private. There's just no way. So anyway, whatever it is, man, and I'm glad he's okay. Number one, that's the most important thing. But
sounded like an awful accident. It sounded almost lost his eye.
3 broken ribs.
Broke his ribs, concussion. Bad concussion. There are different levels of concussions. And
when they're talking about you being out till maybe the start of the season, that's pretty serious stuff. So listen, I'm glad he's okay. It's just and listen, the game's really popular, and people want to know everything about coaches and the players and what's going on. We just went through this drama stuff to your other story up in New England with the head coach. And people couldn't get enough of it. I mean, and this one, obvious to me, is a lot more serious because somebody actually could have died in this thing. And so it was a crazy one. Then you got a receiver this Ayuk story, he's out of his mind. I don't know what he's doing. And they're going, no, we're going to keep him on the list. And he hasn't reported, and he's blasting the team. And it's just, boy, I said, never expected this out of the 49ers of all organizations to be going through all these stories right now.
Dolphins' second opponent this year, by the way.
Yeah,
they
play out there.
They play open in Australia, the 49ers. And
not happy.
Then
going over there to play the Rams.
Then they play the Dolphins in the second game. Dolphins are staying out there after the Vegas game and be out there for a week. But so we'll see what's resolved by the time. But there's some questions to answer in this. The fact, look, you don't need to know all the. You're not going to get all the details of an accident, but if a head coach in the NFL is in a serious car accident, it just doesn't sit for almost 2
I was
weeks.
curious. I was going to ask you that. That was the whole thing, and how embarrassing for all those writers out there, for the Chronicle and all the big papers out there. Not as big as they used to be, but still. San Francisco Chronicle.
Something went on. It's again, typically at a newspaper, a news reporter is responsible every day for looking at the police report.
DUI.
Now, was there a police report?
Yeah,
let's start there. And if not, why? And if so, whether it's 2, 3
San
reports,
Jose, Oakland, San Francisco, all those big areas. Yeah, anyway, it was a crazy one for sure. I know everybody likes Shanahan a lot too, and considers him to be, I don't know, one of the 4 or 5 best coaches in football. You'd agree with that?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Actually, you might say that about 3 coaches in that same division.
I mean, you got the Super Bowl winner, Mike McDaniel. They're all first-time coaches too. So when everybody brings up, the Dolphins,
I think the guy for the Rams really good. I think he's also right up there with what those guys have done. So anyway, we have just this crazy stuff going on out there. And we got competition, man. They're screaming competition. That's what it's going to be about starting tomorrow for the Dolphins out there. So anyway, this list, we do have list. We feel good about it. You and I disagreed on a couple. You want to see more out of Austin Jackson. I put him on the list. I put Greg Dulcich on there. I think Dulcich's going to catch. God only knows how many, but it's going to be whatever his numbers have been throughout his career. He could double them with the amount of targets and catches he's going to have this year. You put on a kicker, by the way. It's a great call because he did have a good year. He did play well, and I don't disagree.
They actually had 2 kickers. The other one was hurt all year or most of the year.
Jason Sanders.
He
missed everything. He kicked off and something in the groin or ripped something that he didn't kick the rest of the year.
But he had a good year the year before. I mean,
he had a long streak of made field goals going into the year and never kicked it, but he got signed right away by somebody else. So anyway, we have that. But we also have that do we have list. Do we have a quarterback? And anyway, we got that list of people. Right on the top of that list, I put Malik Willis on that.
He's absolute same with me right there. Capital letters.
I got Chop Robinson number 2.
Well, let's go back to Malik Willis. I think I like that signing. I like
what
he
too.
can do.
I just got to say we haven't seen him. That's the only reason they're on this.
Can he stay healthy? Can he lead a team? Can he be the guy when everybody knows he's the guy? I mean, he was a cameo in Green Bay. So, but of course, that's the one of the big questions.
That's the big one. Do we have our quarterback?
Anyway, go.
Chop Robinson. Chop, year 3, new defense. Coach that says, Chop, we need you, man. You're a number 1 pick. Year 3, we need to see it, man. We need to see it every part, first, second, and third down on the edge. So I put Chop number 2.
All right. Here's where I put Greg Dulcich as number 2.
All right, you put Dulcich second. Okay.
But I if you're ranking importance,
no, it's
Chop
fine.
Would be number 2. But Dulcich, look, great year last year for
he got
guy who stepped
up.
in with no expectations. 33 catches.
They signed him right away, Dave. They weren't here for a cup of coffee. Somebody said, we got to take care of one guy right away, our pass receiving tight end. That's what this new guy did. They came in. There's no connection to anybody, and they sat down and they went,
I get it. But 4 years and 2 empty years in
No, I
Denver.
got you.
I just need to see more.
Injury.
I agree. I liked everything I saw last year, but I need to see more.
Okay, no, that's fair. I'm going to do one more guy before we go to break here. Just teaser. My next guy on that list, I put a circle around him every time he's in that starting lineup. Jonas Savaiinaia at right guard.
You definitely need to see more.
Do we have?
Yeah, I mean,
he gets first shot again. First crack year 2. Who do you got? Who do you got next on that list there?
I put Malik Washington. Now, again, I
got Malik on my list. I got him down a little bit. No, it's fine.
Your order's better than mine, actually.
No, it's not. No, you don't have to. Don't get all nice with me now after all this stuff. We're going to go to break, though, but we got some more. But I did say today that on that we do have list 21 draft picks, and I think a lot of them are going to end up being really good to really good players, but I did not see enough out of anybody last year to go for sure I could put them on that first list. You agreed with that. There was nobody. I didn't see you putting the guys, but they're on the other list of guys that are knocking on the door.
On my second list there.
Okay, no, of course, right up there at the top. Yeah,
it's a big list.
Big list of guys of guys that you feel like got a real good chance to make the jump onto this thing. All right, we've got more stuff to get to, but before we do, never too early in the morning to talk about Atlantic Men's Clinic. Been going for 2.5 years. Yep, full-blown low T and ED. Not proud of it, just part of getting older. Part of getting older, man. Low T, and I'm talking about energy level is shot. I'd come home sometimes so tired. I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I'm not sick. I literally could not keep my eyes awake. No energy to do anything. Started cutting back on exercise. Still eating the same amount because that wife of mine can cook. And next thing I know, I was about 235 to about 265. And I go, this is not a good number. And then that one day I really looked in that true mirror where you look in the mirror, it tells you the truth. And my mirror finally told me, you're getting to be a real fat ass. And I finally said, that's it, man. I'm done. Went to Atlantic Men's Clinic. That was enough. ED was right there with it, hit and miss, and then nothing was happening in the bedroom. Wife was looking good. Didn't matter. I was running to bed early so I wouldn't have to see her. I'm the guy that was going to bed early while she's staying up. She'd be coming to bed, and I'd be out like a light. Hey, man, I just want to tell you, if some of these things have happened to you, it doesn't have to be that way. I'm telling you, Atlantic Men's Clinic, you set up that first appointment. You get the PSA test. You meet with their professional staff. You have a real honest conversation. They explain everything to you. Make you feel better, knowing that every other guy's going to have low T and ED at some point too. Sometimes even in their early 40s. Half the men in their 50s and a lot of men in their 60s. Boy, do I know. Hey, I want to let you know, too. 7 locations in South Florida serve you, but you get your results. They put you on a plan right away to get great results, and it happens fast. I know a lot of guys ask me, how quickly before the ED and low T you noticed it was gone? Pretty fast. I mean, it happens quickly. 877-455-7300. Set up that first appointment. Visit AtlanticMen'sClinic.com. 7 locations in South Florida. Brand new one in Hollywood. I go to Plantation, real close to the house, and so convenient. And what a great staff at Atlantic Men's Clinic. And welcome back, and a good morning to everybody. Dave Hyde with us all day. Dan Day, Jamie's in with us this morning. We got the whole group in here. Everybody getting all fired up as the Miami Dolphins full squad reports today. They'll be on the field tomorrow, and then we get rolling, man, with the competition and find out more about this roster. Doesn't have a lot of experience, man. It does not have a lot of experience, except for that core of guys that we talked about that you're not worried about because most of them have been really good players throughout. And a couple guys haven't done it a lot. I put on the list Austin Jackson. I got a lot of guys don't trust Austin. You're not alone, but I'm
it's a health though. It's not his game is fine. He's an average tackle. You can win with an average tackle. It's just, can he stay on the field?
Yes.
After the last couple of years, he's been hurt, and so you need to see that.
All right.
But I realize I think there's a good chance we'll see enough. He's on that list. And then there's I really need to see more before I know what to make. And like Chop and Jonah are on that list. I need to see a lot more.
No. That's definitely on that. Do we have enough with these guys? No question. Malik's top of it. Hey, Malik's got a chance to obviously be really good. Those guys believe in him. We just haven't seen it yet. I mean, it's not got a lot of new faces. So anyway, I want to get into some of these names that either need to make a big jump in their play, but that I know the team's really counting on. Malik Willis, Chop Robinson, and Jonas Savaianaya. We already mentioned those names. I got Kenneth Grant up next, man.
Yeah.
Big Michigan tackle. Hey, bud, you're a number one pick. You got a nice life-changing bonus, signing bonus as a number one pick. Bro, we need to see it more. We need to see more. He got a lot better in the second half of the year. He's getting coached up by one of the best in the friggin' business on that D-line. I got Caden Proctor up next with Chris Johnson. I expect a lot out of my number ones. And this thing of going, you put too much in the number ones. No, I know because of some of the GMs we've had around here, we haven't gotten enough out of them. But that doesn't mean you should change how you feel about what you should expect out of a number one pick. Do you agree with that?
I agree with both those guys on the list. And Kenneth Grant started to show something at the end of last year. Now,
just want to see more.
More and better.
He's got Jordan Phillips next to him, and Jordan Phillips is a guy, man, I'm believing in. I'm believing there's a couple fifth-round picks that I have on this list.
Well, Jordan Phillips showed he can be a run stopper.
That if you can do that,
which is
it's a big part of this thing.
But Kenneth Grant, the idea is he's going to be a 3-down guy, but run stopper and put some pressure, be able to push the pocket.
To stay on the field for a lot of snaps, yes. And Dante Trader.
Yep.
Man, I just, again, we saw it a little bit last year. I just think his confidence and everything else from being out there. So Malik, and then I got 2 wide receivers. There's going to be some of these wide receivers going to pan out. I don't have any of the rookies on there, though. But I do have Malik Washington and Jalen Tolbert on that list. And that is working a lot off of what I saw in the offseason.
Yeah, Tolbert's an interesting one because did he get shut out in Dallas because they have 2 great receivers?
Well, they made the trade for a guy from Pittsburgh, and that took he and Atwell both had tough situations because they were
blocked. They were blocked by.
They put in another really top. Again, both those teams had as good a combinations at wide receiver because they had a 1 and a 2 on the outside. Both of them, the Rams and the Cowboys. So, they got hurt a little bit by that. So
my list has 2 right there. Has 2 cornerbacks, Storm Duck and Juju Brents. Both of them showed really a great ability when they're in there, but Storm's got hurt.
He's on PUP. I took him off. I PUP'd it. I took him off the list. But by the way, you're on something. Juju,
you noticed him on the field briefly when he was on there, and then he got hurt, and that's been the story of his career.
He ran down sidelines. They tried to run takeoffs. They tried to beat him, and he's a big, tall, lanky guy, but you got to stay healthy. And I always like to say this about injury. Nobody gets hurt on – I understand it. Nobody blows their knee out or, nobody gets hurt. I mean, things happen, unfortunately, but you don't want to be known as a guy that's injury prone if it keeps popping up. And we have a couple of those guys, and hopefully he's going to stay off that list. So anyway, we have a little bit of that. And then on top of all that, college football win totals. Thought it was pretty interesting. At the top of the list, they got one team. They got them. Some have them at 12 wins or 11.5 wins. Basically, Notre Dame going undefeated. And the reason I bring that up is because, as you know, UM is going to go to play at Notre Dame. And they looked at that schedule. They ran that schedule down last night for Notre Dame. They got BYU and SMU and UM as their 3 toughest games, but feel they have the best chance to go undefeated. I think it's really hard to go undefeated. I mean, now we did have somebody do it last year. Indiana, from start to finish, was amazing, right? It was amazing,
shocking,
and they had some tight ones. That one at Penn State, Penn State let that one get away, but they that was hell. So anyway, then the next batch comes in for these games, and they have 5 teams at 11 plus wins: Canes, Georgia, Indiana, Oregon, and Texas Tech. I was surprised is still on that list after the whole thing they just went through with Sorsby. But so 5 teams. So what they're saying is, if I can read between the lines, Miami's going to lose at Notre Dame and run the table in the ACC, which has never happened, by the way. I am scared to death. And it's not because I don't think we have a better team. We had a better team in Louisville. We had a better team in SMU. But if you get sloppy and you have terrible penalties, and a lot of them, and you turn the ball over, you can lose. And there's going to be 2 or 3 games they play in the ACC that if they get sloppy at home or on the road, because they lost both places, they lost against Louisville at home. Hell, they turned it over 4 times, had a chance still to win the game on the last drive.
I would say I hope they learned something. The problem at Miami this year, they turned over so many players. Look at the offense. Look at the defense too, for that matter.
On the scrimmage,
they turned over a lot of, new quarterback, all new offensive line, basically.
There's 2 areas on that team. The pass rush can't be as good as those 2 guys that played last year. Now, that makes people mad when you say that, especially
they had 2 first-round picks.
Yes.
So that ain't going to be recreated, okay,
yes.
No matter how good they are.
Right. Now, you can rotate it. You can do some creative stuff to still get lots of pressure, but you're not getting 2 guys that good. Let me tell you something else. Offensive line is not going to be as good as last year's offensive line. You're starting a freshman in Cantwell at right tackle who's going to be a stud. He is going to be everything they are raving about him after spring football and how much better. He loves the competition. He comes from a mom and dad. It's about greatness. I mean, this guy, and they got some other puppies in that lineup that I think are going to be really good. They all look the same. Dave, when you go out there and watch, they're all 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", and they look like an NFL front, except some of the younger guys are still, you're going, wow, they look a little skinny, and they go, Joe, they're 320. You go, oh, okay.
So what do you expect from them this year? That, like the offensive line, what do you expect when
early growing pains?
But the schedule's set up.
Schedule is set up for that.
Right?
That's a good point. I'm not taking the wins away at all. I only have 2 areas. I think they got a bunch of areas they could be a lot better, but I'm a little concerned. And by the way, they got the top transfer portal pass rushers. I know. Listen. Speaking of podcasters, Kane's got a few people spitting out podcasts too. But yeah, I'm a little concerned about those areas. I like the 2 defensive tackles inside, but again, I hope we have depth there so they can still rotate some guys in. Blay was really good last year. And then there's one other area. They had 2 of the greatest playmakers in that defensive secondary. Don't ever. They both got drafted high for a reason. Did they go 2nd, 3rd round? Or third, fourth round?
3rd and 4th, I believe so.
Unbelievable the plays those 2 guys made as safeties, nickel guys that could blitz, could intercept, came up with huge plays. Those 2 guys are going to be hard to replace. They don't just grow up and go, all right, another guy, put him out. You're as good as a guy. So those are a little bit of concerns. And then the other one is we had a really good kicker. Nobody's going to talk about this.
Nobody is. You're right, but you're right. That
we had a guy that he put him out there. You just,
Here's the only thing I'd say: they are getting such a veteran quarterback again that he'll be able to
I'm not worried
cover
about
up
him.
some of the blemishes, some of the growing pains on the offensive line, and he's coming in with his favorite receiver from Duke too. So they've been playing together for a while, and
they have.
And so, yes, there'll be adjustments to be made, but it's almost like a team set up to make adjustments. And let's face it, in today's college football world, all teams are making adjustments with the transfer portal and guys leaving and coming.
Yeah, no, I got you. Hey, everybody lost guys. I know we're not the only ones. But
so basically the preseason prediction is Miami's going to lose November 7th in South Bend
and run the table.
But you'd be fine with that. I mean, you're making the playoffs. You've got a nice seed in the playoffs, and that's sort of where the mindset is.
You play Notre Dame tough. Well, which, hey, they're going to be just as talented. I agree with everybody. The problem has been you don't get up for every team, and every year somebody gets you in the ACC. It's happened every year, Dave. I'm not making this up. It has happened. Somebody's beating them now, and I know the makeup over there is a lot different, but they're at Clemson. That game, you're not worried about it. You're not worried about.
That's one of the
Clemson.
Games you should be up for.
It's going to be loud.
Right?
It's going to be the whole
They're
deal.
not going to sneak up on you like
what?
Like SMU,
Louisville and SMU were two of the best teams last year.
Yeah, and so but that's their first really big game of the year. I can't.
So you're not worried about any of this stuff, huh?
Well, I'm worried. Team. I'm not going to be worried about it. It's not my business to be worried, but that isn't the game I'd be worried about. They're going to play well.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. If you're looking at it'd be somewhere in the middle of the season but there isn't right now. Now it might change. There isn't an opponent you look at and say, oh, they could, like Louisville was expected to be good last year. All right. And you knew if Miami wasn't ready, what happened could have happened. Right.
I think most people think SMU, Louisville, and Clemson are the next three best teams.
Yes. And Miami doesn't play Clemson or Louisville.
No.
So, it'd have to be a really mediocre.
They don't play SMU. They play Clemson at Clemson.
They play at Clemson.
Yeah.
That'll be a tough game.
All right. Hey, let's go to break here. We're all over the board here. But, yeah, I thought it was very interesting. And, well, I'll tell you what, you go into Notre Dame and get that win. Oh, my God, you are setting yourself up, man. I didn't shocked that everybody's got C.J. Carr, their quarterback, as one of the favorites for the Heisman.
He looked good last year. I can see that. I mean, he's
a Notre Dame quarterback.
He's good, and he's a Notre Dame quarterback, and they're supposed to be really good.
Everybody likes Notre Dame good.
If you're going to predict Notre Dame to be undefeated, as some are, who's gonna be more prominent than their quarterback? And he looked really good.
If there's one thing that would make me feel really good is that Miami goes in and beats the best Catholics. That's what they
as
they
a good
think.
Catholic yourself.
Yeah, no, part-time not a great Catholic. But I grew up, man, with that whole Catholic Notre Dame thing. That's all I like. Oh man, it's terrible. All right, I got some friends out there listening right now that are big Notre Dame fans. One of them played safety for the Miami Dolphins. Hey, right now I want to talk to you about hurricane season. It is right around the corner, and Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing. Check that. It's hurricane season right now. But, hey, I want you to get your home protected. And if you haven't, hey, Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing would love to be there for you. Now's the time to go ahead, and you never know when the big guy's coming. Their window hurricane category 5 rated. Loctite Impact provides 100% financing with 0 down, no interest, no payments for 1 year. You got no leaky roof. Replace your old roof now, and you can pay later. 24/7 roof repairs. And the best part, Impact Windows as low as $6 per month per window installed. Don't wait for the next storm. Get the deal of a lifetime today and keep your home protected. Whether you're in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach, Loctite Impact is a name you need to know. And remember, so call today, 954-500-LOCK. They got a great staff ready to answer all your questions and get you started. Go to LoctiteImpact.com. Get more information. Let Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing take care of you.
HD1 Miramar, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. WQAM AM Miami, an Odyssey sports station. The home of champions. Home of the five-time national champion Miami Hurricanes. The back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The three-time NBA champion Miami Heat. Miami Hurricanes basketball. And now, the new home of the two-time World Series winner Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
In Miami, at a Domino's game, you'll always find your abuelito. And whenever you want a low price, you can save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Kia. The Marlins ended a 12-game losing streak by scoring 3 in the bottom of the ninth, capped off by a Griffin Conine walk-off single, winning 8-7 against the Phillies. The two play again tonight at 6:40. Sandy Alcantara gets the start. Dolphins veterans report to camp today. Miami also signed defensive end and former 4th overall pick Cleveland Farrell. North Carolina has placed football general manager Mike Lombardi on paid administrative leave pending a HR investigation. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Beat the storm. Schedule your free roof and window estimate today at 954-968-8155. Temperatures in the 90s with overcast skies. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
1-2. Conine with a line shot into right for a base hit. Bird comes in to score, and this skid is snapped. Bart with a 2-run single to tie it, and Griffin Conine with a looper right over the jumping glove of the second baseman Bryson Stott. The franchise record 12-game losing streak is no more. 8-7, the Marlins walk it off. 5 against Wheeler, 3 against Duran, and they get the win in walk-off fashion.
There you have it. Couldn't have said it better myself as the Marlins finally get a win, man. Good stuff. 3, as you just heard there in the 9th inning. Griffin Conine single. 8-7 comeback win. It was a wild one, boy. I'll tell you what. If you're looking for an entertaining game, the Marlins jump out on Zach Wheeler, 5-2 early on. He goes 3 innings. They knock him out with the 5 runs. Then all of a sudden, the Phillies come back, take a 7-5 lead. And then one of the best closers in the game, in Joan Duran, comes in. Well, the nasty. 24 saves, 35 innings, 53 strikeouts. He has just been lights out. Gives up 5 singles and hits Stowers. They come all the way back, and Griffin Conine gets a big hit.
It's the first time in 50 games that Philadelphia has lost when leading after the 8th inning. That tells you how good their closer. Meanwhile, the Marlins had bullpen problems again. 4th straight game. That what was once the strength isn't anymore.
Yeah.
But at least they got the offense came alive. Griffin Conine, Hernandez.
What they have, I think they had like 14 hits in the game, including a bunch of them there in the 9th inning. But Lopez had 3 hits last night. But yeah, that was a nice way, because I could tell you what, I could see if I was on that baseball team. The demons, it's human nature, man. Oh, no, we just blew another lead late. Here, they just had it happen. Oh, no, we're down 2 runs, and we got to fit. Oh, God, this guy doesn't. I mean, they're aware of every stat.
That's 13.
By the way, nobody knows stats better than the friggin' Marlins. They're going, oh, my God. Now we got their friggin' one of the best in the business coming out to close it out in the 9th. And they went up there and jumped all over him.
Yeah, Marcy started the 9th off. A guy who struggled all year.
A couple hits,
He started the 9th off with a hit, which sort of, okay, now we have a chance. Tying runs coming to the plate. That changes the whole, had to change the emotion in the dugout.
You'd have been betting money, though, when they're down 7-5.
Done. I was sitting there thinking,
stick a fork in them.
I'm coming into talk radio in the morning. We're going to be talking about the 13th loss in a row.
But they knocked those demons out of that dugout for sure. Wow, that was amazing. Just an amazing way to come back against a team that you're chasing, not that far behind, but they They got a lot of great players.
The other
no
news
question.
out of last night was before the game, our friend Craig Mish on the TV network said Marlins will not be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. They're going to keep the core together, but they aren't going to be.
Didn't see that.
Yeah. So, trade deadline's next Monday, I believe, August 3rd.
Right.
And, we've
So the owner got the word out, said, "Hey, Craig, come here. Let's get started now. We're not getting rid of anybody, but we're not picking anybody up."
Which is a nice compromise. And 2-3 weeks ago is they got to be buyers because look, they're 10 games above 500. It's a surprise. Get a hitter at third base, some power there, and they got a chance or a closer. And then it was like, oh, are they going to be selling after losing 12, in the middle of a 12 straight losing streak when you said it?
What are they? One game below 500 now with their win. The other news coming out yesterday, and it really does tell you how the Dolphins feel about their pass rush when you had a guy right before camp. It just does. I mean, it's no surprise. We've all been talking about, and a lot of guys say, hey, the biggest problem we have, we don't have pass rushers. We don't have anything outside and chop, if it is chop, and who's going to be on the other side. So they add another guy. By the way, it's no guarantee. We'll see how he does, but Cleveland Farrell, Raiders former first-round pick, fourth overall pick, now 29, had one of his better seasons with San Francisco last year, 4 sacks as the defensive end. And, again, 5th team, been to San Francisco twice, including last year for the 2nd time. And so we'll see. It just looks like
that's the number one void. If you were going to rank the voids, and empty cornerback, empty edge rusher, empty
the move
wide
right
receivers,
before camp tells you everything you need to know.
They're desperate at that position.
They are looking for guys one-on-one on the outside, so you don't have to bring all-out blitzes every time you're in a passing situation, that you'll be able to.
You can't really do that all the time because the secondary is.
You can if you've got really good cover. You can do it a lot. Now listen,
but
Brian
they don't
Flores
have
did.
That. They
No,
don't
they
have
don't.
that.
They don't have. And the other, the bad news coming out of this whole thing, because I like Storm Duck, is he's going to start this camp on PUP, and so that's. I thought maybe they'd be looking to bring in a veteran corner, which maybe they will after they see what they have. But I also know that the 3 guys that they have, that if I was betting money, that Marshall, Johnson and Juju Brents are probably going to be the starting corners. And I'm jumping the gun here because they could be injured or somebody else could come on strong. But you're looking at what's going on, those guys would be some of the favorites to get those top 3 jobs, 2 on the outside and 1 inside in the slot.
Remember last year they brought in their starting cornerbacks in the last week or 2
they had
right
all those
before
guys,
the season.
had all those guys get hurt.
And Rasul Douglas
Rasul Douglas
played pretty well.
Yeah, he did. Rasul Douglas played really well. They both actually both guys got picked up again for
Jack
another
Jones.
Played had a good, those guys, and they stayed pretty durable, man. They played a lot of the football season. But yeah, we had a bad run during camp of corners going down, and they didn't waste any time trying to get guys in, but they also thought they had a team that was ready to win more than 7 games that they won last year, and it just didn't happen. Hey, we've been bouncing all over with the news, NBA and conference odds for wins and where they have it. We haven't really talked that much about that, but the Knicks, and a lot of this is DraftKings and FanDuel, Dave. The Knicks come in at the highest number, 53.5 wins, which, by the way, I think they won, if I'm not mistaken, they won 53 games in the regular season last year. Second is 76ers now, who make a nice jump up there as one of the top teams. Celtics, 51.5 wins for DraftKings. Pistons dropping off 10 games to 50.5 games in those top 4 spots. So those are your top 4. And then coming in behind it, in any different order, according whether you're looking at FanDuel, DraftKings, or some of the other ones. Cavs, the Raptors, and the Heat all coming in. Cavs came in and won at 48.5 wins. Raptors at 55.5, and the Heat at 46.
And the Celtics are in there, right?
Yeah, the Celtics are 51 by
51.
DraftKings.
Okay.
And actually 76ers were off the board on some, which I didn't understand. There were some teams had them in the early 50s with LeBron, and some didn't have the win total yet. I'm not sure why with that super talented team, but I just figured they'd been at number 2. But the thing that got me, they have the Heat either with this list 6 or 7.
You talk about a slap of reality or sobriety into what should have been and it is a very hopeful summer for the Heat. But I don't quite understand that, other than there's a lot of pretty good teams in the East. But I think Giannis is discounted because of his injury last year.
That's some.
And some of it is they don't have a real playmaker, a real shot creator, and LeBron was going to fill that void. But I think it ultimately tells you how deep the East is.
Do you realize last year the Heat won 43 games, 43-39, finishing in the 10th spot? A couple teams got hot there at the end and moved ahead of them, but I don't know. It just seems like we're 3 or 4 games better than that. More than that.
You'd hope you get Giannis. You're at least the 4th best team. You have and look, home court, home ice doesn't mean anything what it used to be. In the NFL, the home teams last year in the playoffs were 7-6. In the NBA, the home teams were 45-40 in the playoffs. It tells you
we've seen the Heat.
Really need it.
We've seen the Heat from a play-in go all the way to the finals, and we've seen the Panthers from the 8th spot go to the finals.
But you would hope the Heat would be you get the big whale, the one player everybody wanted this offseason.
Everybody says depth. They that a lot of these guys.
They're not. They still have 3 roster spots to fill. Can they get someone else of impact? If DeMar DeRozan's of impact, or Klay Thompson, if you think they're still impactful, they play a role, and
yes,
that's what they're looking for right now.
All right, hey, we got a lot more stuff to get to here this morning as we continue on here and start of camp. They report today, the veterans report. They'll be on the field as a team tomorrow, and we'll have more NFL stuff coming up here. Plus, another crazy story off the field that we haven't talked about. And this doesn't even have to do with all the San Francisco drama that's going on out there right now. But we'll have all that for you, get you caught up on some NFL news here in just a second. Summer is here, man, and Dr. Barry's team at Recovery Unplugged has your back. If you are going through any kind of mental health issues right now, depression, anxiety, something that's knocked you off the road a little bit, sometimes it's in a relationship, sometimes it's in work stuff, sometimes it just has to do with I can't get out of this funk I'm in. I need some help. Your friends have noticed. Everybody's told you. A lot of times in the past, you've been able to get by and do it yourself, but now you need some help. Well, it sure is nice to have Recovery Unplugged because they have your back. Their mental health residential program in Fort Lauderdale is a private, comfortable space for you to heal with music-based care that hits the right note every time. They accept the most major insurance plans. Call 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplugged.com. Whatever it is you're going through, doesn't have to be that way. If you know somebody going through it, or if you're listening right now and just find yourself feeling like you haven't in a long, long time, you can't get out of it, make sure you call him. Dr. Barry and his staff, professional. They've been through it. A lot of those folks have been through their own demons. They're ready to help you. Call 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplugged.com. Hey, this summer, enough's enough. Do something about it. Heal out loud with Recovery Unplugged. All right, welcome back, and a good morning to everybody out there. Always appreciate you being with us. Dave Hyde's with us from the Sun Sentinel before getting ready for a little kickoff to Lobster.
I am. I'm set.
You are.
We were making the
Boy.
plans last night. Okay, we got the boat. We got to get the boat in position. I got my spots. You know,
Everybody's
I
got
collect
their spots, right?
Yeah,
Everybody go down there's got their favorite spots.
I got them on my phone, and I got them on my GPS on the boat. So the question is,
I just need 2, and then we'll butter them up with some. We'll get them all just 2. Just bring 2 back. You get the rest.
you know, figure we're going down to the Keys and do it. So you only get 6 a person, Joe. So,
I know.
So we got.
You're very careful on that one.
Well, I'm a rule follower when it comes to
you
stuff
should
like
be.
that.
That's good. That you should be. Seriously, that's everybody can enjoy it. I agree with that. All right, so this Tony Romo thing. A lot of people, as you probably know, aren't big fans of his with Jim Nantz.
I like him.
Color analyst.
I like him. I really.
He's
like
not a
listening
bad
to him.
guy. We talk and see him a lot again. Well, we don't see him recently because he's with the number 1 team, and we don't get the number 1 games very often. But we do run into him here in past years. So he's a big golfer in the offseason, and he's a really good golfer. He's tried to qualify for a couple, PGA events, which he's come up short. But apparently he's in a tournament in Wisconsin, driving under the influence. And by the way, he was 35 over, including 12 over on the final round.
That'd make you have a couple pops afterwards, right?
That'd make you have a couple extra drinks right there. So anyway, he performed poorly on a field sobriety test, and they're saying he refused to blow, which I think everybody's been told by everybody, do not just skip it and don't do it. So anyway, a lot of people are calling. You know how this works. You know more now than ever. Good old social media.
Everybody's quick to react to stuff like that.
Tony Romo. It's not
a good look. Not a good look, obviously, by him.
By the way, I don't know what CBS is going to do. I have no idea. He's got a 10-year, $180 million deal, which, by the way, leads to you're a dumbass for letting this happen. You more than anybody.
$18 million a year to leads to one of my pet peeves. I don't really watch any game because the announcer.
I'm on that same boat. You and I sound like twin brothers because
$18 million
I tell Woody that all the time.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know why they're fighting over and Tom Brady's got a $275 million deal. And I'm like, I like Tom. I am a big Tom Brady fan, but whatever game he's doing, if it's a good game, I'm watching it anyway. And whatever they say or don't say, or if they make a mistake, is not affecting the way I watch the game.
I just don't want them to get in the way of the game. Just don't say stupid stuff.
Right.
So,
I agree.
But really, I don't even know who's announcing half the time.
So one thing with Tony Romo used to do that.
I loved it. I loved it.
Some of the, you know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
So some of my guys don't like it. Like
he's predict the plays.
He predicts, they're running right. Jim, they're running right. And he was right.
But then he'd tell you why. Okay, here's what they were doing.
But when you're wrong, then it's like the guy doing the play-by-play goes, just let the play out, and then you tell me what you saw. Stop trying to predict because you're going to get them wrong.
He has stopped that, I believe.
He has stopped.
But I enjoyed it because, at the time, it was different.
He did come out, and then he got blasted for just not stuff he was saying. And he said, look, I got to get better. And I'm guessing CBS got on him a little bit to take
Here's what he has to worry about in this thing, to me, I think.
What?
If CBS is looking to cut salaries anyways, or to
he's got something in his contract, because I know I got something in my contract, a DUI, say goodbye.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins DUI, say goodbye. NBC was a DUI, say goodbye. They're not going to let you stay there. Joe's not with us here today. Drinking and driving down the road here on 75 last night.
But they can enforce that or not enforce that, right? So the question is, who's in charge of CBS? Do they have to cut salary? Are they in that mode? Do they not like Tony Romo?
I have no idea.
Anyway, he's vulnerable now. Yeah.
No. If you don't, though, if there was a time for an out, and then it would happen right now. So, yeah, I just thought, but I was like looking like, Tony, what are you doing? You're not 20 or 21 year old at college. Well, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? You've been around. You played in the big market of the Dallas Cowboys as a starting quarterback and a good one. Like, what are you doing? Like,
being stupid is what you're doing. That's and all you're making that much money. Just have a driver.
The Uber bill has. I do the same with my kids. I said, listen, man, not acceptable. Like, now I'm not. Hopefully, never happens, but. Just use the Uber. You got Uber account. Just take it.
They're much better at
yeah,
Ubers
they are.
and not drinking and driving than say our generation was.
It was just to see this whole thing is like, But again, if I shot 35 over, and
if you're ever going to drink and drive, that might
well, somebody told me he was like a scratch golfer, whatever that. No, I don't know if he's a true like play on PGA events, and you're maybe you're playing at
scratch
the country
golfer,
club.
even par golfer, right?
Yeah. Well, 12 over on a final round. That's shooting in the 80s. That's not good. That's when you have to start looking in the mirror going, I guess they're playing for some money and stuff, but yeah, that might have you have a drink and you go 35 over might have a few pops and on your way home, but man. So anyway, we'll find out what they end up doing. This other thing too with Ryan Clark it's gotten really ugly. Just seeing the comments back and forth. It's just
it's become racial. Anytime it gets racial, everybody gets their backs up, and you can't really talk about it rationally or logically.
Well, you can see where the shots are coming from. They're one side or the other side. Yeah, you're right. And then he went on his podcast and had that pivot podcast that he does with Channing, which is fantastic. Channing is an absolute rock star on that thing. And so he told him, by the way, I'm guessing it did really well for the guy to come back out and say, hey, and Channing set it up nicely about, hey, former, and they were having a chuckle with it, former ESPN employee and stuff. But then they got into it, and that stirred it up even more. And, people just, it's gotten really vicious. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's got an opinion on Ryan Clark, and ESPN's been getting killed for a lot of different things, and including the coverage of this ties right into ESPN's taking a little bit of a hit now from people. I don't know how you feel about this.
The only thing I didn't,
the 49er head coach.
I didn't from him was how great he was, how he was the number one. He was the best. He was this. And look,
we got a lot of chest beaters, man.
I'm a watcher, and there's 10 guys probably who I listen to, and I think, oh, yeah, they're pretty good. He was one of them.
Well, look, all those guys they have, both men and women, are pretty damn knowledgeable.
Yes.
They're not sitting up there going, they're all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Background. Again, it's sort of like the announcers at games. Look, John Madden back in the day was different and special, and I get why. But other than that, they're all pretty much interchangeable to me. And same goes with these ESPN analysts. Yeah, I like this guy or that guy, but to say Ryan Clark was by far the best, as he was saying.
I think his thing was he had won some awards, and so he was.
Hey, I won some awards, Joe. I got laid off.
Dave, I wasn't trying to go there, Dave.
That's where you were trying to go. I saw you were angling.
I was not angling.
You want me to say I was the best?
You never.
It's a racial thing. I got fired.
You know what? You're not. Yeah. You know what? I tell you. You're funny. I want everybody to know. I get on this guy all the time. I said, will you please promote what you're doing?
Oh, yeah, I do. I'm writing on Substack, Joe. I think you're right. Thanks for bringing that up. Substack.com. You just call up my column. It's an app, or you Google it, put my name in, plug in your email under the subscribe button, and you'll get my columns delivered to your email. It's much simpler than this old-fashioned thing called the newspaper.
No.
Quit the newspaper stuff.
Yeah.
Substack.com.
So what are you writing about here as we get close?
I'm doing a camp thing, and I thought I was going to put it out yesterday, and I didn't. But it's questions for the Dolphins, like what I have for the Dolphins, and some of it's obvious. Like, we've been talking about it the last couple of days. Can John Eric Sullivan really fill enough holes that they become competitive this year. I mean, they got holes all. Is Jeff Hafley the number one thing in him? Can he lead this year? And it sounds obvious to ask.
What do you mean when you say lead?
Let's go through the last Dolphins coaches, going back to Steve Ross's hire. Joe Philbin wasn't a leader.
Nope.
Adam Gase, same thing. Guys showing up to meetings. The symbol was the whiteboard where he'd have a list of players.
At least he called him out on that board. I love to see that board.
He called him out, but it didn't help.
Missed special teams meeting, $3,500. I used to see those going, God, I'm sleeping in, coach.
Yep, it didn't matter. And now Brian Flores, he was a leader, but the other thing with a leader, you got to stay on message and on target and keep the respect to your team. At some point, and Ryan Fitzpatrick has talked about this most of all, he went off board. Now, it was a tough for Brian Flores. I think it was really tough.
I was surprised to hear him.
Yeah,
he let because
he was loose. That
he was good to Fitzpatrick.
Well,
I mean, Fitzpatrick was kind of his guy right to the end,
right until midseason when he surprised everybody by picking Tua to be the start. Now, there's a lot of internal organizational needs to play to. I get that. I mean, he's the future. Anyways, Flores is a bizarre issue in that I don't think he had a lot of organizational support because he didn't tank, and the organization wanted to tank. And a lot of things came out of that.
I tell you though, Brian, a great relationship with Brian Flores. Very surprised on the amount of guys that when he put his coaching staff together, he got rid of almost all those Patriot guys right away, including his best friend. I don't know what happened to this day. He used to say they were like best friends, his defensive coordinator. He stayed 1 year
at his wedding,
and he left.
What about he fired an offensive line coach 4 practices into his regime
over a move that he refused to make?
He
said he's not ready to play. He goes, play him. He goes, no, he's not ready to play. He's not my best guy. I'm not going to play him.
And he was right. And in retrospect, you look back.
Dieter was never good.
Yes. So that's part of leadership. How do you treat your coaches? How do you listen to them? How do you listen to the team? Are you on message all the time? It's a hard thing to do.
I'm not worried. The only thing he hasn't been through, they did a lot of winning in Green Bay.
He's going to do it a lot. It's going to be a tough year.
It's going to be tough.
And you know what? You're going to come in here and you say, man, another game they didn't have a sack or they had no pressure on the court. Why don't they scheme it up? Why don't they scheme it up?
And he's calling the plays on defense, so he adds the pressure to it. But I got to tell you, the fundamental of being a head coach for me, and this is just because we had Mike here, and I like Mike, but he got run all over, which, by the way, every former player is pretty much, whether they put their name on it or not, is just killed him about. He got run over by the best players, just absolutely. That's not.
He was soft. He was soft as a head coach.
This guy
was soft as a general manager. And so the whole organization, the organizational culture was a soft. And, when Jordan Brooks said in Green Bay after the cold a couple years ago that we're playing soft, that's what the organizational structure at the top was. I thought you did him a
favor saying that because that's what everybody's saying. They go, well, we disagree with our middle linebacker. Yeah. Okay. Well, he just told you.
But you can't have a tough team and the right mindset when the head coach is soft. And Mike McDaniel, he's in a perfect situation. John Harbaugh's a tough guy, and Mike McDaniel,
he's not the head coach.
A good, cute.
He can go back to bro. He can bro everybody in the meetings. Hey, bro, let's do this. Hey, love your shoes. He can do that now. He can do that as offensive.
We're going to get you to the next contract. That's what he can
do that.
Players.
He
that's
can do
what
that. By the way, you're right. That's a great point. But I'm not worried about any of that stuff. He's going to go through some hard times, and how's he going to handle it?
That's the question.
How he and the GM, how would they handle the whole thing? All right, let's come back here, and we'll talk more about the Dolphins and everything else going on, including a nice comeback win to end 12-game losing streak for the Marlins last night. Griffin Conine, my God, what a huge hit to end it. Baptist El Sal, Florida, man, what a great sports medicine program they have put together. People ask me all the time, hey, you always talk about this sports medicine program. Well, where do the pros go in town? I get that almost every day. I go enter Miami, the Heat, the Panthers, the Miami Dolphins, FIU, FAU. A lot of our individual sporting events here in this town all use the great doctors at Baptist Health, South Florida. How do you become a top sports medicine program? You better have like top-notch specialists for every part of the body that can be injured in a sport. Knee, shoulder, foot and ankle, hand specialists, back specialists, hip and knee replacement doctors, Achilles doctors, all those injuries that you've had happen. And the best news of all is whether you're high school athlete, college athlete, professional athlete, and all the rest of us that are way too competitive, hey, man, Baptist Health South Florida Sports Medicine Program is going to take care of all of us. Great facilities in Dade and Broward, Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables, Hard Rock Stadium next to the training facility in 595 and Pine Island in Plantation. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho. One goal every day. Get us all back out playing the sports we love the most. All right, welcome back and good morning. Thank you for being with us. Dave Hyde's with us this morning as just breaking down. What's that thing called again you're doing?
Substack.com. Hit the subscribe button.
You're doing great on that, man. That thing's
actually
doing great.
It's taken off. It's a lot of fun because you interact with readers a lot more.
Well, you're a good. You're number one. You're a really good writer. You got a great reputation, and it's great. It's good to hear.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. This football season coming up, a lot to write about, and yeah, the other question asking Malik Willis when he steps on the field, you're down a score in the fourth quarter. You want to feel good. That's to me.
Seems like you're tying all three guys in together: the GM, the head coach, and the quarterback.
Those are
the Green Bay way.
The Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. Those are you got to finance some answers to them this year. Now Malik, again, we've talked about he doesn't have the support, but you want to feel like New England did about Drake May after his rookie year, where you said, okay, the numbers weren't great, but he looks like a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I think we're really curious to see, and again, everybody's list is going to be a little different for the guys. All right, I've seen enough. I'm not worried about you guys' list. Aaron Brewer and Jordan Brooks for me, and Devon Achane and Zach Sealer and Patrick Paul, by the way, 5 of the best players on the team last year. And so I put them at the top. Then I stuck in Austin Jackson, a healthy Austin Jackson, hopefully. Tyrell Dotson, who had a lot of tackles playing next to Jordan Brooks. Really had some sacks. And he's a communicator on that defense with, what is it, green dot, red dot, yellow dot?
Green dot.
I think it is green dot. Anyway, and Dulcich. Greg Dulcich, I saw enough to go, and the way Tua really got comfortable with him before losing his job. And I think that just kind of continued on that they got him involved in.
Well, John Eric Sullivan thought the same thing because he was one of the first contracts that they.
When he looked at everything that was here, you get right to work and he goes, let's get Dulcich done.
The bigger part of both our lists, you have how many players on it? 8? You have 8?
Yeah, what I have, 8 or 9.
Yeah, and I had 7 because Austin Jackson I did, and I put Riley Patterson on the kicker. So I have 7 players that I say, okay, I know what they can do, and I expect them to be, that's not a lot. That's not a lot on a roster of 53.
Well, 21 guys we didn't put on, and that's the last 2 draft classes. I did not see enough last year. Just me. Now, a lot of fans may disagree. I did not see enough from last year's 8-man draft class, and they all played a lot, but I didn't leave the season going, all right, I got 3 guys off this team. Now, they all played a lot, and some had their moments. They all had their moments, from cornerback to safety to all the defensive linemen to a running back to your quarterback, Quinn Ewers, who I like.
But they're on your second tier.
They're on my second tier.
And
Malik Willis.
See more.
Hey, man, I want this Malik Willis thing to work out. I want to take Jeremiah Smith.
Or you want to get a lot of draft picks and trade down.
Well, no, it's
that's a decision ahead.
Yeah, that's true. I should have never brought that up. I jumped a season. I did something I get mad at everybody else for jumping a season, looking forward to, what quarterback you like the best.
But your point on Malik Willis is right. I mean, if they hit on him, and these guys know they're on the hook for him. They gave him some decent money, but they know him like better than anybody knows him. Any other team out there knew him. They Sullivan, Hafley.
Hafley knows him better than anybody because he worked with those two together every day in practice, with giving them the look of the team they're getting ready to play. And Hafley's defense, he was a defensive coordinator with Green Bay, and he saw Malik do a lot. They, Malik, I need you to run more today. I need you to stay in the pocket, buy time back there, run around. And then he played in some games and played great.
Yeah, he played great. Now, defenses are going to get a bigger book on him, on what he likes to do, how to stop him. Can he stay healthy? Can he lead a team? Can he be the man? Now he's stepping in, and it's different than being the backup and playing a cameo. Now he's the man. He came in here right away. He signed the contract, and he's the man. So but I like the idea of what they're doing here. They said, we like this quarterback, and right away, we're not going to wait. We're not going to wait for the second draft to get a quarterback when we can get one that we like right now.
Boy, and you're right. We were going back and forth and how many teams and this and that. And boy, Dolphins grabbed that quickly and got that thing done. And some didn't like the money, although I think it's more than fair if he plays the way they think he's going to play, obviously, and you've got him tied up for a couple more years to keep it going. Hey, so we've got all that and our list in, and like I said, I did not put on the first list any of the, obviously we haven't seen the 13 in this draft class yet, outside of OTAs and minicamp. But yeah, and then I had Kenneth Grant, Proctor, Chris Johnson. I put all the number one picks, man, all those number one picks from the last 2 years on that list, with Chop, the first round pick 3 years ago. But we need those guys to look like first round picks, man. I'm not like this thing about us downplaying. Oh, you worry about first round picks. No, the way you get paid, the way the structure, the reason the first round is so popular. I just go to that alone. Why do millions and millions of people watch 32 picks in the first round and stay up and watch this thing for 3.5 hours, and they have draft parties all over? Hell, I was part of one. There are like 3 of them going on in town, and you stay around because you want to see what guys you're going to take when you have first-round pick or picks.
I'm sorry, 100,000 people watching a stage where a guy announces his name. I don't get it. That's a mystery to me. But it's become an event. The NFL is great at.
It's a tourism win to get it in your city.
To hear a name called. But I agree with you. The first round, second round picks.
They're big picks.
Especially when you are structuring a rebuild as the Dolphins are again around the draft, and you want to show something different. These guys need a Proctor, Chris Johnson, Jacob Rodriguez need to step in and show, it's different this time, that these guys know what they're doing when they're picking players.
Yeah.
Because you look at what was the symbol of the problems last year was the 2020 draft. They put so much resources and trades and confidence that they can rebuild in. It was Tua, Austin Jackson, and Noah Igbenogany were their first 3 picks, and that symbolized the troubles.
Well, the other part is we did trades, which at the time everybody's excited. They did the big splash trades, but with those, we had small draft classes that weren't
historically small,
very small. And you can't do that. You can't start giving up draft classes. You got to build this thing. Financially, you have to build it through the draft. And by the way, you like when 1 year draft picks is really good and you go, hey, we're going to sign you for another 3 or 4 year contract. That's good for business. I think to bring your own instead of have others out. We do nothing but trade for guys and give those all the guys extensions. And meanwhile, your guys are getting away and going all over the league.
That's why I like the first thing they did is they went out and they got who they think is the smartest guy to build an organization in John Eric Sullivan. We'll see if he is, but you need that guy. Look at all the John Schneider in Seattle. That's from Green Bay. Elliott Wolf from New England. He's from Green Bay. And those are the.
The other thing is they brought in some really good assistant GM guys around. John Eric Sullivan brought in some good people in the league that have been around, been general managers.
John Robinson from Tennessee is
some really good people to help them and give them some other eyes and extra brains in there to look at things. If you're not sure, you want somebody else to look at it, or all those things I just think are really important. Hey, we got 8 o'clock hour coming up here, man, as we continue on and talking about the team and what it's going to look like tomorrow when they all dance out there and compete for the first time. This is no more OTAs and mini camps now. It's on. Now it gets started. Before you know it, we'll have a preseason game with Washington and a couple of home games, and then we'll be talking about the opener against the Raiders coming up. Hey, I want to tell you about the Marlins. Speaking of that, nice comeback win. Congratulations last night. The 12-game losing streak is over. I got more good news besides that win last night. They got 2 more against the Phillies. Let's keep this thing going. Hey, I want to let you know, too, with the Phillies in town for the next 2 days, boy, if you're looking for great value, I want to tell you, you got to get out and take advantage of fan favorite offers they've got. They got the 2 for $25. You can score 2 tickets plus 2 canned beers for $25, and then get the 4 for $44 presented by Pepsi and get 4 tickets plus hot dogs, popcorn, and drinks, all for $44. You talk about a great deal for the whole family. If you're looking for things to do with the kids, we still got a lot of summer baseball left for you to get out, including a lot of fun if it's anything like last night with 2 more games with the Phillies coming up. So pretty cool things going on. Plus, don't miss $1 kids tickets and Bark at the Park presented by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Get your tickets now at marlins.com/tickets.
WQAM FM and HD1 Miramar, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. WQAM Miami, an Odyssey sports station. The home of Joe Rose with Hollywood, Tobin and Leroy, and Hawk Crowder and Solana. South Florida sports lives here.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
In Miami at a Domino's game, you'll always find your abuelito. And whenever you want a low price, you save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Marlins ended a 12-game losing streak by scoring 3 in the bottom of the ninth, capped off by a Griffin Conine walk-off single, winning 8-7 against the Phillies. They play again today, 6:40. Sandy Alcantara takes the bump for the Fish. Dolphins veterans report to camp today. Miami also signed defensive end and former 4th overall pick in the 2019 draft, Cleveland Farrell. And Inter Miami, they're going to get back to action against the Columbus Crew Saturday, 7:30. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Beat the storm. Schedule your free roof and window estimate today, 954-968-8155. Temperatures around 90 and partly cloudy skies with a slight chance of rain. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Welcome back here for the 8 o'clock hour. Dave Hyde's with us this morning, as well as all day Dan Day, and all week with us. As always appreciate that. And Jamie's back with us this morning. Jamie, how we doing with the ladies, by the way, before we get into any more?
Everything good, Joe.
Good. Still.
We just get an everything good. We don't get an update like.
I learned my lesson there, Dave.
Are you still? No. I got to tell you, what Bo did was not acceptable last week to you. I seriously.
We told him couldn't come in today because of that.
We're not going to have that. Are you still seeing the same girl though, a little bit?
Yeah.
Good.
She was out of town this past weekend, but probably doing something this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's going to be going back to the Northeast. How do you handle that? Like, is it?
You kind of just know that it's a short-term thing, and if we ever cross paths again, great. If not, it was nice while it lasted.
Easy come, easy go. That's sort of the motto there.
Yeah,
you're the best.
Doesn't have to be too serious.
You're the best.
Everyone's having fun out here.
You are having fun. Gosh darn it, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
No, nothing wrong with that. It's always good. You do make me laugh, though. We laugh our ass off. I got to tell you have been very entertaining. Jamie, you're very entertaining for us. Hey, speaking of entertaining, hopefully we get some entertainment with the Dolphins starting tomorrow with back out on the field, full squad, and then it's off and running, man. It is off and running to see what this thing is going to look like without. Look at one thing we know for sure: this team doesn't have a lot of experience. It doesn't have a lot of players that have put up a lot of numbers outside of the core of guys that they had back. 3 of them they re-signed, plus a couple guys that were here before. Zach Sealer, defensive tackle. You've got Patrick Paul, who's going to be up for if he plays the way he did this year. He's going to be getting paid after this season some big money as a second-round pick, which means he's only got a 4-year contract instead of the 5th-year contract. So he'll be looking and really motivated. I got to tell you the other thing. I know we talk about this a lot, Dave, but I think one of the reasons Caden Proctor is really going to play well. I truly like. I don't know what's going to happen with Chris Johnson. I haven't seen enough yet at as a cornerback, inside or outside, but Caden Proctor, besides being just a big man, he shouldn't get pushed around a 3. He's going to play at 350 pounds. Hopefully we don't have weight problems, but 350 is his weight. But he's playing next to 2 really good players, man. You know, again, you're playing with Brewer at center, and your left tackle is about as motivated as anybody's going to be in Patrick Paul. Those are guys. So you got great guys around you, got experience, both really good football players. That left side of that offensive line should be so, especially if Austin Jackson can stay healthy and we don't have to move him. Talking about Proctor, move him to right tackle, and he can spend a full season at that guard position. That should look nice.
It's going to be interesting. They got Malik Willis, who can throw the ball as we saw in Green Bay, but who could? I think they're going to try to run the ball a lot behind the left side of that offensive line and Achane, and they drafted a blocking tight end in the third round, the best blocking tight end in the draft, Kaczmarek. So I'm curious. It was pretty much a wide open offense the last couple of years, even though they did run the ball with HN. I'm curious to see whether it'll be more buttoned down this year, especially when they don't have a receiver to count on.
Well, hopefully that develops. And again, I think that some of those guys are going to end up being good players. It's just, what's the upside? What's it going to be for Malik Washington or Tolbert or Outwell? What's the upside? And honestly, we haven't talked about, and they put a priority on this. When they talked about the draft and the 13 picks, they talked about the top 6 picks are important picks. They put the third-round picks in there too. Now, one guy, there's nothing he can do because he can't play yet. Wide receiver out of Louisville, still on ACL, going to be out. Hopefully he's back in November would be my goal. I'm not a doctor, and I'm playing one a little bit here, but hopefully he's back if you look at the time. And, hey, we got other guys that's been 9 months and aren't ready, but hopefully he's going to be ready to go. But you got to get something out of your tight end and your other wide receiver if we're talking about
Caleb Douglas round. Was the
Caleb Douglas.
They must have loved him because he wasn't rated nearly as high where they picked him, which doesn't matter. What matters is they scouted him.
Right.
They saw him.
He's a big guy that can run. We know that. And he might be the guy that you get isolated one-on-one and runs takeoffs and deep post patterns. That might be his thing. He's 6'4", and I know he ran in the 4 threes for the combine.
Now that's the difference of how they're drafting the guys. They're getting big guys. Chris Bell's a big guy,
6'2",
thick guy, and
thick,
and Caleb Douglas is 6'4", and we're used to the last few years they've had the small guys.
I'm not a hater on small guys.
I'm not either.
I play with 3 guys that were all short that could all play.
Well, look, Tyreek Hill, his size, whether he's big or small, didn't matter. Jalen Wall's a nice receiver. I'm not that, but I looked at Green Bay's roster when they were taking these big guys, and they don't have big guys, so I don't think they're wedded to size.
You know what else I learned about Green Bay? They don't necessarily take a lot of wide receivers in the first round. They did recently. But they take a lot of guys in the second, third, and fourth round. That's their strike zone for receivers. You look at that group of guys, and they're all good players. They've lost a couple of them, got good contracts with other teams, but they don't feel like you have to draft a guy at wide receiver in the first round. So we'll see how they do that and how that ends up working out. Besides all that, we've got news with the Miami Hurricanes with the college football win totals out. And besides that, we got this other story. Michael Lombardi used to come on our show a lot. We used to have him in the rotation of coming on. And he's good for business. I mean, he says a lot of stuff. Like, Michael Lombardi's not for everybody because he pisses a lot of people.
He has a lot of opinions, but he backs up his opinions with a career of knowledge. So
no. So, and his big thing is he's always been a big fan of Bill Belichick. He's always referencing everything that Belichick did. So that's fine. And they've been together in North Carolina. Hired him to be his GM and oversee the recruiting and all those things. In the NCAA, you don't get in trouble for anything anymore. You really don't. I mean, tampering is like a joke. Like, somebody whines about tampering, everybody laughs now. Like, everybody's tampering with everybody. Of course, we don't wait to see if your guy's going to be in the portal. We're calling them ahead of time because we want them. All these things that the NCAA has no control over, and yet they're talking about a North Carolina team that wasn't very talented and wasn't very good last year, and the NCAA could be taking a look at something that Michael Lombardi did. What can you do? It's professional football. What can you do to possibly get in trouble?
Well, he's on administrative leave, and the NCAA through their, what do they call it now? They have an official, the College Sports Commission is investigating North Carolina. So you're putting two and two together. Did Lombardi do something? Did the program do something? But I'm with you. What the heck can the NCAA? You haven't heard those letters recently. The NCAA investigation.
They have no pull. And by the way, the conferences don't like what the NCAA says. Now go, no, we're not doing that. That's not gonna. We're not gonna allow that. No.
They've never had any pull. If you look at every team they put on probation, it's through a legal investigation, and they piggyback on top of that. That there's legally, they can't depose people, they can't legally investigate anybody, but they would use legal investigation and say, okay, that you were found guilty of this, so you're on probation. Now they can't even do that because the NILs take. I mean,
yeah,
there's really nothing for them to administer anymore.
So I saw Bill Belichick. I didn't realize this. Spring football, his starting quarterback, I guess, transferred from Purdue, came in, and he left after and went back to Purdue. I just saw that. I was like, what? So they're mad. They're mad, and they're complaining. And some other schools are complaining about tampering, and we had this guy and he left. So there's a couple thoughts. College football is not for guys my age anymore to get involved. They're just not. My guys, and Dave, your age too. If you can't work like Mario Cristobal, who is a year-round pit bull, he recruits. He's done with spring football, and he's off and running. He's off and running for 2 classes from now of high school recruiting and getting out, and he's in California. Hell, he landed some California guys. If you are partially in vacation because you made $200 million in your NFL career and you got a 25-year-old girlfriend, and it's not a shot, it's just a fact. You're not going to leave on the weekend.
It was a fact and a
in
shot.
Your 70s. Belichick, do you think Belichick in his mid-70s wants to go out and recruit and kiss some 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old's ass?
Well, not only that, how hard can you coach? Because you need to coach to a certain point to get a point across, and yet you can't get them angry where they're going to leave. All the players are going to leave. And
they got 1-year free agents, and when they're good, they look like they're leaving. So I just, hey, man, this
for Belichick to think he could step into this college football world after his.
Well, what did he think?
He thought, you know what? I'm such a better coach than anybody out there in college football that, okay, we might not have the best players, but that's okay. We'll still win. And
he did that marketing thing that I know how to get you to the NFL because I was in NFL. I would use that, but you still got to go out and get them. And by the way, now they have money. Hey, coach, this is great. All this stuff you're going to teach me and do it the Patriots way.
Who's having the odder post-Patriot career? Bill Belichick or now Tom Brady with the things he's into? I get he has the normal job with the Raiders and all that, but at the same time, he's doing all this odd stuff, flipping off Paul in public and sizing up to the WWE, and then last year the roast. So who's weirder? I didn't expect. I thought both these guys would have cookie cutter post careers of being legends.
I had a bad read on Tom Brady too. Yes, I never thought that I'd see him. What's this guy? This loser guy that he does all this stuff. Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
They're setting it up as the.
I know that you can see it coming. It's bad shtick. I mean, they're slapping him. He slaps him in the face like Tom Brady going around slapping. Like, you're the greatest quarterback of all time.
What's he expect to get out of this?
I don't know. They say he might get a piece of this WWE, that he's working his way into owning a piece of this thing.
What's he? But to what end? Is he trying to buy an NFL? And Peyton Manning, it seemed like they're competing afterwards to now Peyton's doing it nothing like this, but he's making a lot of money.
Peyton's not doing that.
But he's making a lot of money in production companies.
Peyton's having fun. Yes.
This quarterback club on Netflix or whatever that he's doing, and he's involved in other, normal corporate.
Did you see his production company's worth $400 million?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. These
Yeah,
both
that
is Brady trying to compete with him
Brady's
over
got
money?
Brady's got the same thing. Brady's got his own products. He owns a small percentage of the Raiders, and he's got a $275 million contract with Fox to be the number one team. Which, listen, there's a lot of guys like to have that job.
$37 million a year. And
Yeah.
again, this gets back to:
I
am
know.
I going to watch a game because Tom
No.
Brady's announcing it?
I'm watching the game because Tom Brady's got the best games on Fox, which is usually a really good game when I'm watching the Rams and 49ers play each other out on the West Coast, or you're getting the Cowboys and the Eagles or one of these games. Yeah, I'm watching, but that's why it drives me nuts when somebody says, I saw who was doing the game and I turned it off. And I'm like, what? That's weak. That's weak sauce. You're what? Nobody's turning the game off. You know how bad somebody's got to be for you to turn a friggin' game off? Even if the guy's terrible. You're sitting there zoned in on the game, you're watching the friggin' game.
That's the other thing. When you turn on a game because someone's announcing it, I've never done either of that.
We get occasion all day, Dan day. Come on, man. Nobody's turning a friggin'
No.
ever.
I don't even, after watching the game, if you ask me who are the announcers, I'll be like, I don't know, I was watching the game.
You're right. Yeah, sometimes that's even.
No, I'm always doing that because I'll be doing a story and someone says something interesting and I want to quote them. And who was that?
Yeah.
And I have to look up who
Who was
was
that
announcing
guy?
the game, even
Yeah.
though I've been watching the whole
Yeah.
game.
Anyway, hey, listen, we're going to break here. We ran a little bit late, but you're right. We've had some strange ones coming out of New England. But New England's tried to.
Yeah, who's weirder? Who's post-Patriot career is weirder? Belichick with the girlfriend in North Carolina, or Brady now with the roast and the slap fest and the WWE?
I don't think that roast went over real well. If I'm just guessing, that my ex-wife and another woman I had a child with would be overly excited with some of the things he was saying. Probably wouldn't go over real big, especially when it's her boyfriend, now husband, that's getting blasted and was the butt of all the jokes. I'm guessing when he got home, and the kids probably are old enough to understand, hey, Dad, bad idea.
It was funny.
Mom said bad
It
idea.
was funny, uncomfortable. You know,
I did watch, though.
I watched
I
it.
watched it, laugh my ass off. But it wasn't me. Hey, I want to tell you about Super Sure for just a second. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's a finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for that renewal. Your business runs all year, and so do the gaps and the risks. That's why I'm introducing Super Sure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can just be too complex to just buy a policy online. Super Sure is a super agency built for your license in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not, plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform. All your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency. And welcome back. Good morning out everybody out there. And if you've been watching this baseball story, the bad part's over. 12-game losing streak is done. 3-run, ninth-inning comeback, walk-off last night. Griffin Conine with the big single. What a ninth inning off one of the best relievers in baseball last night for the Marlins. End up with 5 hits, and I think Stowers got hit by a pitch. So that's all they needed. Just singles, moving guys, and get enough done. Lopez had 3 hits, and they give the Phillies, after Phillies came back being down 5-2, came back, take a 7-5 lead, and they knock Zach Wheeler out, and then they take care of the closer. So we got your one of your best pitchers and one of your best.
I thought for sure going to that ninth inning, the bottom of the ninth, I was thinking, we're going to be talking about the 13th straight loss.
What's the chance that guy gets knocked around like that after he had 24 saves, he pitched in 35 innings and had 53 strikeouts.
49 straight games of Philadelphia has won when leading after 8 innings.
Yeah.
That's doesn't happen. And they knocked around their top starter, Philadelphia's top starter, and Wheeler, and then they won the game against the top maybe the top reliever in baseball, certainly most successful right now. But the Marlins, they overcame bullpen problems. They overcame losing the lead.
Yeah, another blown lead. You're right.
The offense got going last night.
Well, listen, we've got that story, and then on top of that, Miami Dolphins, right from the top there. John Eric Sullivan said, hey, we need another potential pass rusher. So they go out and get Cleveland Farrell, former first-round pick for the Raiders, 4th overall pick, actually. 29 years old now. 4 sacks with the 49ers last year, and he's going to get a chance. Listen, it's a great opportunity for him. Speaking of guys trying to get their career going.
Well, you look at the depth chart at edge rusher. Chop Robinson had 4 sacks last year. But then behind them, Robert Beal Jr., 1 career sack, David Ojabo with 4.5 career sacks.
No,
and two mid to lower round draft picks. So we've put a net in the water, and they're hoping that when it comes up, they have an edge rusher or two.
We have a lot of guys on this team that just either don't have a lot of experience with the young guys, or second out, just guys haven't put up numbers in this league. And that's, I think, why a lot of them signed here, is this gives them a chance to kickstart their careers and get it going in a different system and a fresh start and all those things. But
the thing is, you can mask the secondary at times, play zone, change up. You can't mask an edge rusher. He either can. I know you're going to say they can blitz and change up.
I was actually no. I agree with you. You can only hide so much stuff. If your guys can't play, they can't play. And I was going to say that about secondary. If you're going to play zone, you still got to be able to react to the ball when it's thrown and make plays. You just can't sit back there and in zone defense and play way off and allow guys to have 20 catches in front of you. That's not going to work. You got, whether you're a zone or mixing up man to man, or you got to have guys that they got to make plays. They got to make plays, and you're going against top-notch receivers every friggin' week.
But if you have a good secondary, you can help a bad pass rush, or if you have a good pass rush, you can help a bad secondary. If you're empty at both spots, and here comes, Patrick Mahomes for the home opener and Joe Burrow in the second home game.
Well, Joe Burrow's actually got a lot more weapons than Patrick Mahomes for me. Now, Mahomes got some weapons, don't get me wrong, but no, we're going to see, you're going to see a lot of good receivers this year. And as we have talked about, they're playing against a lot of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Twice with Josh Allen, Mahomes, and Drake May. You can see Drake May twice. He looked really good up there last year when they played against him.
And old Josh Allen still out there.
Josh Allen got 2 with Josh Allen. I know how good they're going to be. Everybody thinks it's still Josh Allen and a very average football team around him. They sure win a lot of games. I mean, they've got some good players.
It's been average around him since he got in the league. And yet they put the blame on McDermott and they kept the general manager. That's a mystery to me of what went on in Buffalo.
I thought he'd get a job right away, but they made him the fall guy. They did make him the fall guy, and so anyway, I see what happens here. But yeah, I think the Dolphins told you a little something you need to know about the pass rush yesterday, right? Through all the OTAs and mini camps, and then here we are right before camp. They sign a guy that's been in this league for a while. And by the way, he's never lived up to being the 4th overall pick in the draft. He hasn't.
That's why he's available.
That's why he's available, and you got him on the cheap.
Yeah, and look at the Dolphins schedule. We were talking about quarterbacks that ending the season, the last 6 games. Chicago, you got the guy who's ready to step up and be a superstar in the league. Green Bay, Jordan Love, Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, well,
our old buddies.
They're going to be here in town. Yeah, Justin Herbert. Yeah.
Then Buffalo with Josh Allen and New England with Drake May. And so you're the last 6 games. The whole schedule's tough, but the last 6 games especially are brutal.
No,
from a quarterback / passing game standpoint.
Yeah,
and it's hard to find edge rushers. It's hard,
Well, you see what the Rams are doing. And in the process of bringing back a guy now, all the reports seem to say that one of the great defensive tackles in the history of the league, after 2 years out, is coming back. They traded for a guy
generational pass rusher.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer whenever he's eligible. His 5 years and he's done playing. His 5 years are up.
What do you think if they get Aaron Donald? Now it's weird. He's 35. He's been out 2 years.
He looks like
they
he's
could get
in
him for
shape
15 plays a game,
yeah,
and be ready for the playoffs.
There's a chance that he is in third. They may do some second, but second and third in long situations. Maybe late in games, like just to cut it down. Yeah,
he's coming back, right? I mean, there's
so
much
like
smoke there that
it looks like it,
when.
And it's pretty funny because it looks like the wife's not real excited about him going back to football.
Well, when they came out,
she was not happy with all the reports.
She put something on social media like, I can't remember the exact phrase, but it was basically, "Get serious. This isn't happening."
It'd be kind of fun. It would be kind of fun. Like, I know we got every kind of documentary and stuff, and we always say, man, I would have paid to heard that conversation. There's been a couple of husband and wife conversations, LeBron and his wife, I'd love to have heard. She'd been in that relationship long enough to say, hell no, I'm not living in Philadelphia. No way.
Well, she's not living in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we're going to New York. You love New York, honey.
You speak of the big losers in this. Okay, the Heat were losers in this, right? But what about the city of Philadelphia from a civic good standpoint? You're getting LeBron. He won't even live in your city. I know. I want to live in New York. I'll helicopter every day down.
Is that done for sure? Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. 40-minute helicopter ride.
So I know in LA, I said this yesterday, surprised to hear it. And they showed us because there's a helicopter every day. We were out there for a few days getting ready to play. And and they said the helicopter, and they go, a helicopter over there. They land on, in city, LA, you can't get around, as you know. By the way, if you're ever like taking your family out there, plan one event a day because you're not getting around that city. You get to that one event and the day's wiped out. And they go, oh, yeah, Kobe. This is back. Kobe used to, land on there. And a lot of the players that live nice places too far away, they take a helicopter and land on top and take a quick ride over to the arena.
Bring a dose of tragedy into it. Yeah. That's how Kobe died.
No,
I mean,
exactly.
in a helicopter accident.
I'm not a big we've had a couple of helicopter accidents in the TV business through the years. That was it for me. They asked me one day, we had the helicopter pad next to out in Miramar, and they used to use it. There was a time when everybody used it before they got tight on budget, and those things are expensive. Every time they lift, they say it's $5,000 every time it takes off. And so they had it, and they go, hey, we need to get whatever the story was, it up in spring training. And I go, no. They go, come on down, and they're going to give you a ride, and we're going up there. I go, no, I'll drive. I said, I'll be there. What time I got to be there by? Okay, I can be there.
You had helicopter fit, but you have no problem flying on jets or planes or anything.
I'm not crazy about December and January flights up to the Northeast. I'm not crazy about them because it's bad weather, and that plane does wind, snow, the clouds. It does a little jumping. Those planes. Yeah. I'm not crazy about that kind of stuff. But what are you going to do? Not travel?
I think you need the Joe Rose Cruiser. You get on the big bus and like John Madden. And
No, I'm not doing that. I don't know how he did that. Like, hey, John, you got Monday Night Football, Giants and Eagles in the Meadowlands. And he lives in Northern California. You go, all right. I'll be leaving tomorrow. Going across the country.
I'm with you. You'd have to. Now, how he did it was he made a ton of money because he was really good at it, and he must have enjoyed.
He had great shtick.
Yeah.
He didn't take himself seriously. He didn't try to beat you up with real high tech like this is the counter 5XZ. He kept it bam, and he just, this is what you're looking for, man.
And then he made even more money off the Madden football game.
When he put his name on, do you think he had any idea? Those checks must still be coming in for the family. Yeah.
It's like a different level. Shula had no idea when he put his name on Shula's Steakhouse he was going to be making a lot of money. Dorothy had to talk him into it.
Oh, shoes. That wasn't even the thing he was proud of. The thing he was really proud of, he got in on those Burger Kings. The guy was they were buying Burger Kings because they were I don't know if Burger King's still here or not down in Miami. And they asked all those guys if they wanted to get invited. So Shoes, Jim Otto had a bunch of Burger Kings too. They all jumped in the Burger King business, and he owned franchises out in California. He couldn't wait to tell us about that.
He was offered, remember Nautilus, the weightlifting, the whole.
Yeah.
He was at the start of that. Arthur Jones, who started Nautilus, offered him the rights into Florida, I believe it was, or South Florida. I'm not sure. And he turned it down because he said it wouldn't be fair to his assistants if they didn't get a shot at that too, which I did not. But that was sort of his mindset. Yeah. Meanwhile, it cost him a fortune and turning that down.
I don't know, but we were there the day he sold those Burger Kings out there. He did it around a Monday Night Football game out there in
California.
He was like a little kid. He was jacked up to get that check. Whatever that check was, it must have been big. Because we went out early, and that was one happy man on a Friday for getting ready to play a football game. Hey, I want to tell you about Choice Mortgage and Michael Kotze for just a second. Need cash to pay off taxes, liens, judgments, IRS, high interest rates, second mortgages, credit card debt? Call Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage, 561-441-2730, or text him, by the way, if you own a commercial residential property with equity. Call or text Michael right now. He can help you. He's been helping Floridians for more than 30 years. Looking to buy a home today, he'll get you pre-approved with little money down. Now's the time to lock in before interest rates go even higher. Looks like they're knocking on the door. Call his cell phone. Guy works 24/7. It's funny. Somebody says, why would I use Michael Kotze? I go with banks. I said, well, just counts on how fast you want to get it done, because Michael Kotze the guy works 7 days a week, gets all the paperwork done, get you approved about half the time of the big banks. 561-441-2730. That's 561-441-2730. Nobody does it better than Michael Kotze, no matter what it is you're looking for. Need to get some equity out of some properties. MLS 166254. Rates and terms subject to change. David without notice. He's an equal housing lender. All right, welcome back here before we hit this 9 o'clock hour. Tell you what, man, we talk about the Miami Dolphins getting ready to start camp next week. We've got Miami Hurricanes going to open up. I believe media days on Monday, and then Tuesday they're going to be on the field, and they get going as one of the teams everybody thinks got a chance to win.
It's a completely different feel around Miami, say, than a year ago, where you knew they'd build. You knew the work Murray had done in building up the program, but they hadn't had the results yet, right? They hadn't had the big.
I agree. There's completely different.
Now that they had that run through the playoffs to the championship game, it's like a light switch gone. Okay,
that's a great
again.
call. That is a great call. I totally agree. The way people look at Mario number one has just completely changed by the way they won those 4 games.
Yeah, because
they won 3 games.
1-3, and then they went to the last possession of the championship game against it. But the discipline and structure and obviously the talent that they showed in that run.
Well, they look like they were as talented or more talented than all those teams they beat. They're physical with them. I mean, listen, nobody enjoyed those drives running the football more than Mario Cristobal. Are you kidding? At end of games, the wind's blowing, and they're able to run the football down and win those games.
And they won on the road at Texas A&M. They,
basically won on the road in Texas.
And Mississippi was
Ole Miss.
So, so my whole view of, okay, because to be honest, the storyline to that point, they barely got in the playoffs. And it was a discussion because they lost to Louisville and SMU. That run changed how everybody nationally and locally viewed Miami.
So isn't it funny how some people thought Miami, because of the losses, they thought they were bad losses, shouldn't be in. Then they get in and they go on this long run. And by the way, to be honest, played Indiana better than anybody else except maybe Penn State earlier in the year at Penn State. But in the playoffs, clearly, I mean, they had a chance to win the game at the end. Nobody's saying a word. They're like, okay.
Well, I was one of those questions. I was like, this is weird. Miami didn't win the ACC. They didn't even get to the championship game.
No.
And yet they're, but it was the same thing. They beat Notre Dame. Right. Should Notre Dame be in if they lost to Miami, even though? So, we were back to arguing. The whole thing, the playoffs were supposed to end, was any arguments of getting in. It just changed the argument.
Well, it's funny because, as you know, Duke won the ACC with that win over Virginia. They win it, but they had so many losses they couldn't put them in, and actually worked out. Him winning actually worked out for Mario's team.
The ACC changed the rule now.
Yeah.
Which
first thing they did is we're going to change this. Well, the goal is going to be not to just get one team in the ACC. They'd like to have, get 2 teams in there if that's going to happen.
Well, they will if they upped it to 24 teams.
No, then that's going to change everything. And by the way, that's going to happen. Fortunately, that is going to happen. The team I don't know about is Clemson. So they hit the transfer portal, 17 new players coming in. Finally, he went all in on the transfer portal. And he's talked about.
He came to the modern times, he had
no choice.
Whether you like it or not, you got to play by the rules.
He either had to do that or he had to quit.
Right.
And
a lot of the old timers have quit, as we see. The older coaches, they don't like it, and
they shouldn't like it because you got to work a lot harder. And the frustration of a young guy coming up to you and saying, "Hey, I need my contract redone, coach." None of those guys want to hear about that. They don't want to hear about money. They want a coach. And by the way, the other thing is, this recruiting game is tough and it's dirty. And if you're an old guy and you got grandkids or have a 24 or 25-year-old girlfriend, the last thing you can do, the last thing you want to do is, "Hey, honey, I'm not going to be around this weekend. I'm going to Ohio and then to California, see some 5-star recruits." And she's like, "No, you're not. We're going to the freaking beach. We're taking a boat out this week."
Well, it's hard for an old time where you've had relationships.
I can't see Belichick doing this thing at 74 is what I'm saying. I'm being a smart ass there.
Well, he's not doing a very good job of it, judging from the first couple years, right? and now we're even before the third year, something bizarre is going on. We're not exactly sure what, but Mike Lombardi. I love Mike Lombardi's podcast. I hope he goes back to doing that.
Oh, he will.
But
everybody will pay for this at some point. Yes. If he's out of a job, everybody's going to pay. He'll be back. Yeah, there's no question about that. Yeah, it's a crazy one. I'll tell you another one. I would love to know how Bill Belichick really felt when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl without him.
Well, you know how it's human to hope he doesn't succeed at the same level, right? Isn't it human to do that?
Tom Brady was better 3 years in Tampa Bay than anything he had in New England. Now he's gone. They got Drake May, but yeah, it's just crazy. All right. Hey, we got 9 o'clock hour coming up here, man. Time's flying here today. When you're in here, man, it's funny how fast everything gets rolling. We'll get back here. Dolphins gonna report today and on the field tomorrow. Then the Canes are on deck. We got game 2 between the Phillies and the Marlins tonight as well. So we got plenty of things going on here. Hey, I want to take a second to tell you about Dr. Barry's team at Recovery Unplugged and what the great work they're doing. Hey, man, this summer, if your mental health is not where it needs to be, depression, anxiety, all these things that got you out of whack, man, it happens. Things like this happen more now than ever. And if something, whether it's through a relationship or a loss of a job or something's changing your life, and you just can't get back on the road by yourself, you need some help. Their mental health residential program in Fort Lauderdale is a private, comfortable space to heal with music-based care that hits the right note every time. Dr. Barry and Recovery Unplugged and his staff are fantastic. They accept most major insurance plans. Call 954-737-4508. But spread the word. You got a friend going through some tough times. You and your buddy's been talking about it. Make sure you get them to call or show up at Recovery Unplugged. Meet with their professional staff and get some help. 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplugged.com. This summer, heal out loud.
Whenever you want a low price, you'll save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Marlins ended a 12-game losing streak, scoring 3 in the bottom of the ninth, capped off by a Griffin Conine walk-off single. They won 8-7 against the Phillies. They play again tonight at 6:40. Sandy Alcantara gets the start. The Dolphins veterans report to camp today. Miami signed defensive end and former 4th overall pick in 2019, Cleveland Farrell. North Carolina has placed football general manager Mike Lombardi on paid administrative leave pending an HR investigation. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Beat the storm. Schedule your free roof and window estimate today, 954-968-8155. Temperatures in the low 90s. Not expecting a lot of rain today. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
All right, here we are ready to go for the 9 o'clock hour. I was just thinking about that HR thing. We're just talking, I'm not going to lie to you. We're just talking about HR. Times have changed around here with this HR thing in a working place. You better know the people you work with very, very well. And I haven't done a lot of things real well, but I have done a nice job with knowing who you can have fun with. You hear me out here.
I hear you in the hallway.
Now, these girls don't count because they're all these girls.
Oh, hey.
No, right. All day, right? They're a different group.
Anybody who has their hours from like 5:30 in the morning is you're a little wackied out already, right?
But I got to tell you, man, when
Like
I was at NBC, I used to tell those guys, man, you better be careful. I hear your comments, man. You better be careful. They write you up, you're done. You're toast. And I don't know. I do go too far sometimes, but I got to know you. I got to make sure I know you before.
Joe, I see you walk down the hall.
Damn, you look good today. You hear me do that. You
look
look good today. But you got to be careful on that.
And that's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear North Carolina and HR.
Yeah.
And we'll see where it goes.
It literally could be you cursed at somebody. It could be something like that. Somebody was offended by something. But
to get suspended and put on administrative leave, though, something serious is going on involving HR and potential lawsuit and all that stuff.
I got to tell you, man, it just through the years of seeing it, it's just and the relationships when you're at work and titles, your title's up there and she's not, and if you decide to do the bangy dangy, you better make sure you end up marrying them. You better go all the way through with it. If we're in love, even then though, I could see where companies don't.
Hey,
like
there are
it.
CEOs at Fortune 500 companies getting taken down.
Yeah,
by this. So
nobody's safe. Oh, you got to be careful.
Sports
are no different.
I'm just hoping you're careful out there, Joe.
I am, but I was thinking we're the recruiting departments now for these schools. And I just seen UM's, it's got 10, 15 people more for every part of this thing. You know what? You got transfer portal people work full-time on the transfer portal. You got full-time people working on the high school recruiting in different parts of the country. It's you got a lot of people. You got to have people when people show up on campus to show them around and get them to events and set up parties for
and
recruiting.
It's a university world, not a more insular NFL world, especially on a Super Bowl team. When Lombardi worked for a while, he worked for Belichick in Cleveland.
But I don't know what this has to do.
Yeah, we have no idea.
I don't want to make it sound like
a good point.
He's got some sons that are coaching in the NFL. I have no idea what it's about, but you hear HR. I know it HR. I know first thing we all think of with HR. Somebody went to HR to complain about my comments to that little lady down there wearing that tight dress. But you can't do that, Dave. You know that.
I'm quiet when I go through the hall, and I'm hearing you since I've come here. And I thought, wow.
These women don't count. Wow. These women do not count. I could go through the list. They don't count. They're like, they start talking.
But you have that way about you, Joe, where you can say things and
sometimes. But
just so people know, it's not super obnoxious, but it is like, don't you?
No, but Dave, like they'll go like,
they keep
is
calling
there
you
something
a hunk.
wrong with me?
I don't get it.
Or they'll go, is there something wrong with me? What's going on? And I'll go, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You're too picky or something. And oh my
They come
God,
to
what do you want
for
me to just
advice.
date
That's
anybody?
That's one thing I've noticed. They do come to you for advice. Dating advice.
Well, at first, when they first learned, I go,
Ask Joe.
Do you have any friends? I go, no, I don't have any friends that you guys can go out with. No, I don't have any. Not in that business. That never works out, Dave, setting people up.
You do have some friends that you just don't want to set them up, though.
I don't want to set anybody up with anybody else I know. I don't want to hear about it. I really don't want to hear about it.
You probably have some bad stories about that. Because you're a nice guy. You probably have tried to set people up, and it hasn't worked, and you've learned a lesson.
I set up one guy that I'm very close to that works at this radio station a long time ago. If he's listening, he's laughing right now. I'll never do it again. It was a long, long time ago, but it didn't go well. It was somebody I'd worked with at NBC, and she was very upset one day, and I saw her going to the news director, and she couldn't work, and she left. And I went to check, and I went, oh, man.
And you're in the middle. You're feeling like you're in the middle of it.
I'm the one that set it up for the heartbreak. And that got me out. He did me a favor, though. I'd never do it again. Oh, Joe, do you know her? Well, I know her a little bit. I work with. No, dude, you got to set me up. I swear. It'll be a great day. I go, no, I'm not setting anybody up. You go. You want to meet her, go over and you introduce her. Or go, you're not going through me. Never. I did work with, attractive women at NBC, but
there's some younger women here. Jamie, if Jamie came to you and
what do you think,
you wouldn't
Joe?
help him out? You wouldn't have put in a good word for him?
Yeah, I put in a good word for Jamie. You know what I like about Jamie? I say this all the time. Jamie, please, this is that winner, this winner makeup he has. He's a winner. That guy gets knocked down by 2 or 3 bad swipes that don't go well. Girl doesn't show up.
Joe, that's the modern day of dating.
Yes, but if you take it like some of these girls get upset down here. Oh, my God, it didn't work, and it was terrible, and I'm done. I'll never – then don't do it again. But Jamie just right back to it. Swipe right, swipe right, swipe right. And then you hit.
I think of it the same way I think of my baseball podcast. Baseball players, the best players, only get on base 3 times out of 10. And,
it's a game of failure, Jamie.
It's a game of failure. It's a numbers game. You got to put yourself out there and not be afraid of failure, not be afraid of rejection.
That is a great sport. He's right.
But you go through a slump like the Marlins did. It's bound to play on you a little, right?
Well, yeah, a little bit.
A little confidence.
I got to tell you.
Of course, a little bit, yeah.
Hey, how about that team? Their last game, they had the lead before Machado hits that 2-run homer. Merrill comes up, hits another homer. You end up losing that game after a 3-1 lead. They had late in that game to be saying, and again, facing another. They might have faced the 2 best closers in baseball, right? Their last 2 games, last 2 series. And there had to be guys in that dugout going, we just had a friggin' nice lead, 5-2, and now we're down 7-5 at the end of this game. And now we got their big horse out there to close it. We're toast.
When I was watching it, I was saying, "Oh, here we go again."
No, everybody was.
And look who's leading off the ninth. And I've said, the guy who struggled all year, Marcy.
Yeah, you're thinking that's one out right there.
Well, I'm thinking, boy, this is 1 out, and then where's it go from here?
Yeah.
Instead he singles. Look, Hernandez has had some big hits again in the ninth.
Well,
and
he
then,
has.
And then Conine, the winner, he had a home run earlier in the game. So, I mean, the offense came alive. It's been I'll
tell you what, man, I'm really happy for Griffin Conine. He's been through it all. He's been injured.
He seemed to have it going this year, and then he got hurt, and he's out 6 weeks. I mean, it was
but he comes back, and he's forced them to play him with some of the power when he came back. You're looking for guys who can hit home runs, but he's getting better and better with the bat. He really is. You could tell he works at it. And they all work at it, but I mean, he's coming out. That's just a huge one, huge single to win that game last night. And but wouldn't you love to ask everybody in the front office, the president and the owner, like, what are you thinking when you blow that 5-2 lead? They'd all tell you the same thing. And we're done. We're probably toasting this thing again. And they find a way to come back, and after losing 12 games and able to win that game. So
now they got Sandy on the mound tonight, and they're thinking, can we
Two in a row.
can we turn it around again?
yeah, you just
back
like
to where it was.
You just like to win this series. And,
To your point, Griffin Conine's leading the Marlins in OPS. That tells you how important his offense has become to the lineup.
I think he's forced it on him by being so good. I really do. What you need me to pinch hit? You need me to DH? You need me to play in the outfield?
Especially how poorly everyone else is playing too.
That's right.
Makes it easier.
Time.
Like you gotta play him. He's the hot hand right
What's
now.
What's he in 270, 280?
Yeah, something like that. And he doesn't lead the team in home runs, but he has the highest home run rate.
Yeah.
Because he missed so much time. But like as far as his at bats goes, he hits the most home runs per at bat.
I tell you what, man, he's got his old man's makeup. He truly does. He's got his. Sometimes you go, that was his dad, man. He is.
I think his mom was a pretty good athlete.
No,
too,
she was a great athlete.
He
you don't want to play racquetball with either one of those. I never played with her, but he just was a different level. I played racquetball growing up, but that guy was. Then he took tennis up and started beating me in tennis, and then I was done with Jeff Conine.
You don't let him in the rotation, huh?
No, he's not in the rotation anymore. He even had to replace his hip or his knee, and he was still good. That's a bad sign when you get the. That's the other thing. Everybody's getting these replacement, knee and hip replacement. They're right back out playing tennis. It's the craziest thing. This new technology is crazy. All right, I'll tell you what else is crazy this morning. All right, I don't mind telling you. Your South Florida Chevy dealers, they're crazy. They're crazy in love with all these trucks they have right now, and we are loaded down with trucks. And if you are looking for a truck South Florida right now, your South Florida Chevy dealers, 14 dealerships throughout South Florida. We've got one close to you. No excuses to go see those Chevy Colorados, like the Colorado Custom to the ZR2. Everything you could want over to the Chevy Silverados, from the Custom Trail Boss to the Silverado EV with 10 models and 4 powerful engine choices. Silverado delivers an impressive balance of strength, dependability, and efficiency. It's like we've custom made a truck perfect for your lifestyle, from working truck to family truck to still getting around, enjoying yourself in that truck with the boat and the wave runners and everything else, man. We got a truck perfect for you. I love that Chevy Silverado HD High Country. Maybe it's a Silverado HD. So for your best life, and if you're looking for a truck right now, stop by, take a test drive, fall in love, and get a great deal at your South Florida Chevy dealers.
The Joe Rose Show.
You know, one thing I'm not worried about with practice starting up tomorrow, full squad, and everybody's going to have their eyes on Coach Halfley and see how he runs practice. And honestly, I don't know if this is fair or not, but I wrote this down. A lot of people, especially in our business, they go out there. They're going to look at how things are done last year from what they see, their eyeballs see, and they're going to see how Halfley does. And then on top of that, because this was the thing, it's great when everything's going great and Mike's cool and all that, and Miami Mike, and we went through that, and you know, he's he's Miami Mike, he's out there.
I loved it at the start because it was
but
so
when they
different
started
than
losing,
Flores.
and then word started coming out, and they were but now guys are late, and guys are skipping out, and then more stories leaked out, and now some of the best players, not all of them, but some of the best players, not these guys they have on the team, obviously, but some other guys, maybe that you could guess most of them, ran all over the coach. And he didn't do anything, and the other players are watching this, and you know how this thing works. Well, you're putting these plays in for the guy that's not here. Why are we here in this meeting? We're having this meeting, and the coach goes, you're right. Hey, coach, can't have this. And other guys complaining about the way they're being used and stuff and all these things. It's just.
Well, I would go out to practice and I would see Tyreek Hill and Jalen Ramsey come out 10 minutes after stretches has started. And I thought, oh, they must be getting treatment or something. And then at the end of the season, no. They were just late. They're just coming out late.
I know it. And I didn't want to do that part. All I want to say is, first of all, the makeup of this team, you got a bunch of hungry guys.
Right.
You got a bunch of hungry guys. And the guys that have been paid know why they were paid, and they know what their job is. And most of those guys are really good leaders.
I was going to say they're all responsible guys before they got the money. So you can't imagine them changing now.
And the rest of the guys, they're going to do whatever it takes. They want to be good, and those are still good salaries. I know they're not making a lot of money, but in the big picture of life, they're trying to get their careers going and maybe get one more big contract, or for these young guys, be established players. I just don't think John Eric Sullivan has handpicked quality guys and Coach Halfley that aren't going to be a problem. You can coach hard. They're going to want to. And I expect it's going to be completely different. But again, Mike took on a lot of guys that were high maintenance before they got here. And we just kept bringing them in because he just wanted great players. And Mike wanted to be one of the guys. And I just, you know what? I listened to guys for a couple years tell me, see, this works. You don't have to be. You guys are old school. It doesn't work like that anymore. You're right. You're probably right. But it doesn't work the way you run all over coaches. And guys, and some of them, as people said, were wearing the C. You're sitting up there and they're wearing the C, and they're the biggest problem on the team. And the guys down below waiting for the C's to come down, captains, they knew those guys were the problem, not us.
Yeah, and yet remember, when Mike came in, they played the opposite game. They had the sternest disciplinarian that the NFL had at the time. No one was harder than Brian Flores.
Yeah. No, Brian was.
And so they played the opposite of the game. They brought in a lighthearted, runs a player-friendly camp. I remember asking Teron Armstead, about the camp, and he goes, well, before I got here, I heard it was easy. And there you go. That's Mike McDaniel ran an easy camp. So it was complete opposite. Now, where do they go? Does Halfley, are they going to get?
You can only go so far.
You can only go
so far with the rules and regulations between in the collective bargaining agreement with the union. So they're going to follow it. But hey, I think Halfley is still a young dude, so he relates to guys. He's not a 65-year-old coach, and I think he's going to be fine. He's got a good idea how he wants to do it. He knows he's been a head coach at college, so he's dealt with young guys. He better, because he's got.
I think the problem is going to be dealing with players for him, or players late for meetings, because to your point, the makeup of the team shouldn't be anything like that. The problem is talent on this team. And I think as the season goes on, it will be, developing players, finding some answers, keeping confidence up as they take some hits.
Yeah, right. And not losing your
that type of
confidence. The other problem you're going to have is, and I think the media is going to have a little bit of it too, is nobody's going to be patient about this because this has been going on so long, and these guys are going to have to pay a little bit. You can tell me whatever you want, but something's going to happen.
I am surprised by the number of people who think, 6 wins, 7 wins, that's sort of the expectation. I was like, whoa.
I said somebody put out something closer to 500 or closer to, and I'm like,
if you look at Las Vegas, and I looked the last 20 years of Las Vegas over under totals, it's virtually 4.5 is the lowest every year. Okay, so
and we're down there with Arizona,
and they're right there.
Yeah.
So they don't really go lower than 4.5. So this is the low bar of expectation that you could, and that's right where I am. I plugging some of these holes. If they just had no edge rushers, if they had a good secondary, we'd be talking about how good can they be. They don't have an edge rusher.
So I had somebody call me, more than one. I mean, people call me a lot of things, but a Dolphin hater, because I was talking about reality of this team. And I'm going, look at, man, I get it. Part of being a fan is thinking big, and you should. You should. But you need to understand reality of the money situation and dead salary cap money, because it plays into it. I could take the best teams in football, and I take more than half their money away from them and go, now build your team. You got to decide which of these guys you want to keep and which ones. But this is all we have. We screwed this thing up. We had to get rid of a lot of guys, and we can't keep it. This is what.
Yeah, if they didn't want it, Bradley Chubb would answer a question at edge rusher this year.
If I could have kept 2 guys, just 2 guys, it's a no-brainer. I think you're with me, Chubb and Waddle.
Yeah.
You'd even feel better about this team if we had Chubb right now and Waddle. You feel better.
Then I could say, okay, fine, because you have a number 1 target for Malik Willis to throw to, and you
one. You can't just key on a running game
right now, the defense is coming in here. They're not scared of anybody other than Achane, and he's running back. They're not scared of any receiver. They're not coming into a Sunday saying we got a game plan against this guy.
And the other thing, I wish all the writers, national, not mostly our local guys, but our national guys, they keep writing about the Dolphins let Tyreek Hill go when they make their point. Tyreek Hill's probably not going to play anyway. Like, everybody keeps, like, Tyreek Hill's looking for a home. Tyreek Hill's trying to get healthy. I don't know why everybody doesn't understand. He shredded that knee. That wasn't your good old ACL. That wasn't just a little MCL. That was serious stuff, man. And hey, I don't know if he's going to play again. Now, I know his goal is.
Well, it sounds like he's not sure either, even though he's trying to be
optimistic. Camps have started, and he's not ready.
He's saying he has no power, and it's like, you look at the money we've touched on a few of them. Tyreek, Tua, obviously, Tyreek, Waddle. The 4th guy is Jalen Waddle. They're still spending $20 million in dead cap money on him, or Jalen Ramsey, excuse me.
I didn't know that.
$20 million in dead cap money.
I didn't want to look at the breakdown of cemetery money. I'm not big on going to those cemeteries.
$179 million, though.
Yeah.
So, 4.5 wins. I have right now at the start of camp. I have a trouble getting over that number.
Yeah. So anyway, I just hope everybody can go out, enjoy it. Hopefully we have some really good practices for the people going out there, and we're able to come back and say, hey, man, this guy and that guy had another great product, great practice, and really getting after it. And again, starts with your top guys. Your 1s have to shine. Your 2s need to shine. You need to.
You know what? I agree with you, but when I'm thinking that the last time there was a stretch of surprises in training camp, who were they? It was with Jimmy, Zach Thomas one
I
year,
know.
Larry Izzo.
It was so
one
long
year.
ago. I hate
Yeah,
to
it's
do
so
that.
long ago. I have to go back to that though to say, and then the next year it was Jason Taylor, and that's the type of surprise they need. Now I'm not, those guys went on to have Hall of Fame careers. No one's saying, oh,
Well, at
they
least
need
he
a
didn't
Hall of
write
Famer.
that Perkins article that what he did about the leadership and put 3 Hall of Famers in there. Yeah, like to have those 3 guys too.
I like that. I like that kind of leadership.
Give me that kind of leadership, Hall of Fame.
But they were training camp surprises from the start. Jimmy cut Jack Del Rio. Jason Taylor sacked Favre and Elway his first.
Oh, I got you,
I mean,
man.
they were the talk of camp, and that's what they need this year with the 13 rookies coming in. So, a month from now, if we're talking a couple rookies, that's a good training camp.
Well, it's okay for us to expect our top picks to be good. It's got to be. It's got to be okay. So anyway, we'll find out. 21 players drafted 2025, 2026 draft, and they are a big part of this thing, that core, to find out just how good they are. Hey, speaking of good, last night the Marlins were good. I'd love to see here on ESPN this morning and their MLB network. Everybody talking about the great comeback from the Marlins after losing 12 games, getting it back. Griffin Conine, walk-off single. They come back from being down in that game, score 3 runs in the 9th inning. Just great stuff. And we got a couple more games you want to get out there. If it's as exciting and back and forth as it was last night, you are in for some serious entertainment with the Phillies in town today and tomorrow before leaving town. You can enjoy, matter of fact, 2 for $25 and score 2 tickets plus 2 canned beers for just $25. Or this always a good one if you want to check out on this one. 4 for $44 presented by Pepsi. You get 4 tickets plus hot dogs, popcorn, and drinks, all for $44. That'll take care of a family of 4 right there. That sounds pretty good. And please don't miss $1 kids tickets and Bark at the Park presented by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Get your tickets now. Go to marlins.com/tickets. They got some great giveaways coming up as well. Marlins baseball, Phillies today and tomorrow.
The
All right, welcome back, and good morning. We're just sitting here talking with Leroy about this announcing thing. It will be in. You think they do anything to Tony Romo? I know I'm bouncing around here a little bit, but
I think
we'll find out how they feel about him.
Yeah, the question is did they want to cut his salary? He's making $18 million a year. Are they having money troubles where they're saying this would be the excuse to cut him?
Hey, all I know is he's the first one to really get the big TV money, wasn't he? It sounds like he was the first one. He got 10-year, $180 million.
I didn't realize he was making that much.
Well, we thought that was a lot until
Tom Brady, 10 years, $370 million.
But honestly, if you're working off to get maybe the greatest player of all time to even want to do it, think about all the guys that didn't want to do that. Peyton didn't want to do it. Marino didn't want to do it.
Well, Peyton wants to do his own. He's doing the Monday night thing.
They want to run things, but
but
they don't want to. They don't want to get it. Listen, man, you do nothing but get ripped now. Everybody with social media, everything you say, or if it comes across, it's you're bragging.
If I made $18 million a
they
year,
could rip
you
you
could
the
say
whole,
whatever you want because I'm on that stage. Go ahead, rip me, baby.
That's true.
I was getting ripped for not making that much money, Joe.
You're right. If somebody's basically looking at that, you're getting $1 million a game if we're really to break this thing down.
That's crazy. That tells you how popular and how much money is involved in the NFL right there. That.
But I would ask CBS this question, Fox this question, ESPN, Amazon Prime, everybody else has got a Netflix, it's got a game now. Do you really think, how much does it add to watching a game? Don't get me wrong, those guys should make good money. But I'm going to watch the game no matter what.
As long as it's a professional.
Dave, these guys are doing the best games. Tony and Jim Nantz are doing the number one game on CBS. Tom Brady and his partner are doing the number one game on Fox. They're getting a really good game. 9 out of 10 games are really good games. They're getting the best games. Sometimes crossover, AFC against NFC, that, they get those games. You tell me, like, whether you're going to watch Mahomes or if Mahomes or Allen or whoever, or if it's your team, you're going to watch it.
Who moved the needle just by being on TV? I'm trying to think.
If you go way back.
Well, if you go way back, the first person I noticed, because he was Dick Vitale, going back in college basketball, and I was like, who is this guy? Now, that was somebody I noticed. John Madden, somebody I noticed because he did it completely different. Other than that, Tony Romo, I noticed when he was doing it because
he was predicting what was going to happen.
And he was telling you what's going to go. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, but you don't hit on all those. Nobody, just because you see a formation, and then the other thing he's been accused of in recent years, he doesn't work as hard. He's throwing out some
he's working on his golf game.
He's working on that golf game.
No,
he needs to work on that damn golf game.
No, but I thought he was interesting.
35 over.
And he was different in that he was telling you, here's what a quarterback sees. And I thought that was interesting. But other than that, everybody to me is interchangeable. And
you know what's amazing? I have spent more time talking. It has nothing to do with the fact that he lives down here now. It really doesn't. I think he lives in Indian Creek. That was Indian Creek where Shoes and Coach Shula, used to have been. Would have been. We've talked more about Tom Brady. Think about that. We had the controversy around Tom Brady being ownership and being on the number one team, going around to every team, getting ready, preparing for all these teams and meeting with the GM and the coordinators and what are we doing and this. And then we find out when he's not, the owner is coming out saying Tom Brady's going to have a lot of say-so with personnel and finding a quarterback, which they did. We saw him at the championship game. He and Davis were standing down on the field watching their number one overall pick play. And then now we've got this stuff with Tom Brady and wrestling and this flipping this thing up. And they made it clear he and Not a big fan of the guy he's doing it with.
I don't know what the end game here is for
the
Tom
end game
Brady.
is he trying to get a piece
to
of
be on
WWE.
stage?
No. I think
he wants
he's trying
a piece of WWE.
I think he thinks this thing's going to explode. And
I don't think so. I think it's just going to blow up in his face. That because you look at this.
I think it's making a big comeback. I think numbers are going up on WWE.
I hate WWE on ESPN. I hate this fake.
You mean those serious interviews they try to do, like announcers?
They do. They go from talking or interviewing something and okay, in the serious world of sports, of legitimate sports, and then the next thing is they're talking to some.
It's entertainment, man. It's entertainment.
I've never liked
good guy, bad guy,
pro wrestling. So
good gal, you like, gal you don't like. They change roles.
It's nonsense, though. I'm not saying sports is super serious to begin with, but that takes it to another level of nonsense.
He sees value in it. There's no way Tom Brady's going to get caught flipping another golf. Which, come on, man. Honestly,
but isn't he above that?
Yes. Like, and by the way, flipping, I think, over the top of your kid's head. Like, what are we doing, man? Come on, Tom. I want Tom to have fun. I love Tom out sneaking around with hot ass women and dating women and all that. I think it's great. I really do. I think all that stuff's fantastic. But
why is that fantastic? Why I don't care who he.
Well, I do. I mean, we watch everything everybody's doing.
You have to see it. You see it, but
the only thing Tom's done that bothers me. Listen, I think he played till he's 45. He played at a high level, but yeah, I just think when I saw that stuff and he slapped the guy in the face, I was like, oh, this is a bad look. First of all, Tom Brady never going to slap anybody in the face because Logan Paul would beat his ass in about 2 seconds. He would have.
Who do we have on?
If you really did that to Logan Paul all day, Dan Day, what would happen real quickly?
Yeah, Logan Paul is also a professional boxer
Correct.
too. So yeah,
he would. Everybody knows.
But
that. So,
the one thing I think Mike Florio was on last week said it makes a tag team of Brady and Gronkowski against.
Well, Gronk's
Paul
taking
brothers.
shots at Paul too and said, "I'll beat
yes.
his ass." Now, that one might be a little more interesting.
That would get your attention a little,
but
just
it's
because
still,
of Gronk.
but it's still, it's still.
But it's nonsense. It's Tom Brady can live his life being Tom Brady.
Tom's got his hand in everything, and he's killing it. I mean, the value of whatever he owns on that Raider team, some people said they got their piece was worth a lot more than they paid for. So they're sitting on that equity of that. They're sitting on, hey, Tom's got his own powder. Hell, my daughter, I buying Tom Brady powder.
He has Tom Brady
protein powder.
Oh, the protein, yeah, right, from his Alex
Real
Guerrero.
Healthy. I've been taking it, so I'm not a complete fraud. Now, I didn't buy it; she bought it. I want everybody to think I'm Tom Brady and my whole life.
At some point when he played till 45, and he went out as the threw more yards than any other quarterback. That was his last year. Maybe we all should have been having some of that avocado ice cream and all that stuff that he was doing. And whatever he's eating, maybe we should have been eating at that.
He takes care of himself. He's healthy. He's got one beautiful place. That thing he has built. He did all that by himself. He was already divorced when he decided to put that place together.
Is it Indian Creek?
Yeah. Well, I just saw over the top. They keep showing those pictures over the top. It's gorgeous.
Doesn't his family, his ex, have a place right beside it or across the way?
She's
or
close
something?
down here somewhere. I don't know. We don't see her much. She seems to be pretty private, she and the kids. I'll tell you what, though, man, Tom Brady with his 3 kids, I said, man, that's pretty cool. He sends out stuff, this is the best day of my life. I got my 3 kids together. It's great. But yeah, what are you doing with that bum?
Again, who's having the weirder post-Patriot existence? Belichick at North Carolina with the young girlfriend. I'd have to go with Belichick, but Brady has his odd elements going on too.
I don't know. It makes no sense if you follow Belichick and seen what he's like, that all of a sudden what he find out is little guy's working or something because, and I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm not. Something's going on because he's running around like he's like, I mean, remember that first crush, Dave? You remember that first one, that's how he's acting here in relationship number 3 or 4, whatever it is.
But he was the king of about team. It's not about you. No distractions.
She's not a very nice person. She
Well,
might have been.
You saw her up close, Joe.
I did. I just not. And maybe it's because she feels everybody's talking about her, right?
But I think she wants everybody talking to her. The question is,
she's
they're not saying the right things about her.
Writing putting T-shirts on, taking shots at, Patriots. And like, what are you doing? You shouldn't even be involved. Shut up. Get out of it. Put your damn normal ass clothes on. Quit trying to put some billboard on your chest.
Did she have to be banned from the sideline? Or there was a question of her at North Carolina?
That was going on. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm guessing the AD and president aren't real excited about having her around.
But who would have ever thought?
You better win a lot more games than she is around.
Bill Belichick's girlfriend would be a point of contention inside football programs or a conversation.
It doesn't go on anywhere. It's not going on anywhere else. And there's probably another coach out there that's got a 24, 25-year-old girlfriend.
And it's the ultimate guy who he won 6 Super Bowls by do your job and being glum and saying nothing.
But I will tell you the other thing is, Dave, when you start talking, it's one thing to be 20 years difference, you and your partner. It might be a little different to have maybe 30 years, but he's damn near 50 years. That's a little creepy. And I'm all for, hey, I can say get myself in trouble here right now, but I'm not going to.
You know what was creepy? She was in was it the Maine beauty pageant, the state of Maine, one of the Rhode Island, one of those states up there, beauty pageant, and Belichick came in and sat with her parents who were his age.
That's weird.
I mean, that would be creepy.
That's weird. Just weird. So that to me, that just he's by himself. What he's going. I notice they have staying off social media. He's not doing that thing down on the beach now where he's lifting her up over the top with his legs and she's pretending she's a mermaid. And
if it wasn't Bill Belichick, we would whatever. Yeah, this is
not the guy telling his guys do your job and shut up. Yeah,
and with glum and the whole second act or third act of his, wherever act we're in, is weird.
But then they did some petty stuff like telling the Patriot scouts they can't come out. Thank God they don't need to come out because you don't have any good players. But the thing's a mess.
Does UM play the Hurricane? I was very disappointed they do this year because they didn't last year. I think they do
play North Carolina.
I always look for potential columns, and they didn't play last year.
They go up to Chapel Hill this year.
Up there. Too bad.
Too bad.
I'm here. I see him on the sideline down here, and the place that he coached against the Dolphins.
Something tells me this is it. I don't know if he makes it through the year, to be honest, but he definitely, this is going to be it. He realizes now, he's not doing it, but he realizes how much work it takes, and you can't have other people do the work because they want to know about you. You got to be the one that's got to go out.
I think it's the losing. It's not.
Yeah, but you can't if you don't go out and get them. And put some. You got to kiss some ass, man. You got to get out there and get a little dirty with these kids and stroke them. And
you see Bill Belichick kissing a 18-year-old's ass?
I'm guessing he doesn't do that with his own grandkids.
Negotiating a contract when
he's got grandkids. I'm guessing he's not very good at that. That's not one of his things. Like, Bill, just tell how proud you are of your grands. Hey, good work. Anyway, hey, that's gonna do it, Dave. Good luck, man. Good luck in the lobster,
I'll bring you back lobster. Okay,
2. I only need 2, man.
Only 2?
Only 2. Nobody else can eat them. Just me. They're going to be mine.
I have a limit of 6 per day.
I know. I told you. Just get me 2, and you take care of the rest. Have a great day, everybody.
WQAM, broadcasting live from the Ed Moore Sawgrass Auto Mall Studios. Shop massive savings on a massive Chevy inventory all back.